I step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
And breathe in and breathe out. It's a very good morning. It's 6 o'clock, time for another edition of your Feel Good Breakfast Show right here on S3. Opening up to a brand new day. Of course, it's midweek already. First things first, we would like to wish all of our Muslim viewers a Ramadan Kareem. May this month be fruitful. May all your prayers be answered. And I know it's going to be a great start because we have the G-Man with us this morning. G-Man, what's up?
It's one of those days you just feel like just loosening up, dancing a little bit.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
I actually dreamt about singing last night after our performance in our karaoke yesterday, and I actually dreamt that I could actually sing.
But you can sing, G. You just have a different range.
I do sing. It's a range that's not on the spectrum, actually. No, we had a lot of fun yesterday. Today is going to be even better. And we've got a real treat for you this morning as we are joined by the unbelievably talented team from the Zip Zap Circus School. It's going to be so cool. I saw a unicycle coming in earlier.
That's what I wanted to say. If I could do anything, it would be on the unicycle. What would you do if you had to be in the circus?
Trapeze. Fly through the air. I definitely
Next level.
do that.
Next
I
level.
definitely do that. No, they are awesome. They are so unbelievably talented. And of course, they belong to an incredible organization that's doing so much to uplift young people. So really excited to connect with them. We're also going to be getting flu jabs.
Yes, we're getting the vaccination today.
This season, not that vaccination, the other vaccination. Yeah. We've got to do it at this time of the year. So much to sink our teeth into today. And of course, we get to do it alongside another beautiful human being. Good morning, Zoe.
Pretty.
Good morning, team, and a very good morning to you. Well, this is also the time of the morning where we love to connect with you on social media, and it's been some difficult times. So we want to know from you, how have the little ones in your life handled the COVID-19 pandemic? So do let us know. You know, we are going to unpack the topic of tools for kids that deal with stress and anxiety, and how parents and even caretakers can all play a massive role in helping these little ones deal with everything that we are dealing with. So head on over to social media, let us know how your little ones have been coping with this pandemic, and we will share some of those answers throughout the show. And don't forget that hashtag Expresso show. But it's now that time of the morning for us to quickly get into your morning headlines, your sport, as well as a first look at your weather.
Thanks so much. So let's start here in South Africa with our national news. First, South Africa will suspend the rollout of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine over blood clot fears, according to Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize last night. He said the U.S. Food and Drug Administration advised a temporarily suspended issue of its rollout of the J&J vaccine after 6 women developed, quote, unusual blood clots within 2 weeks of receiving the jab. He added he hoped that this matter would be sorted out within a few days. Meanwhile, South Africa has recorded 847 new coronavirus infections and 67 new COVID-19 related fatalities. The recovery rate remains at 95%. Then the humanitarian organization Gift of the Givers, well known on our show, says it will be donating more food parcels to needy families during Ramadan this year. The founder and director of the organization, Imtiaz Suleiman, says the need for food is much greater this year due to COVID-19. The organization has just started distributing food parcels nationwide in light of Muslims' preparation for their month-long fast during Ramadan. Suleiman says trucks with food have already left for the Southern and Western Cape to provide food to some 6,000 people every day. Now, on the international news front, Twitter's CEO and co-founder Jack Dorsey has announced that Ghana would serve as the country's headquarters in Africa. This decision stems from Dorsey's visit to the region in 2019 and engagements with President Nana Akufo-Addo. Twitter is already looking to fill several specialized positions in Ghana, but Twitter is holding off on acquiring office space in the country, and all staff will continue to work from home amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has added, and we quote here, the choice of Ghana as HQ for Twitter's Africa operations is excellent news. Then US President Joe Biden is set to announce today that American troops will leave Afghanistan by the 11th of September. The US would miss a May deadline for a pullout agreed with the Taliban by the Trump administration last year. The new deadline would coincide with the 20th anniversary of the terror attacks on the World Trade Center and Pentagon back in 2001. Biden had previously said the 1st of May deadline would be tough to meet. He's also said that a hasty withdrawal would place US forces at risk. Now, finally, bringing it back home, a happy first for local travelers in South Africa. The new airline on the block, Lyft, has come up with a first for local travel in South Africa. The airline realizes that your four-legged friend is very much a part of the family and has introduced dog-friendly flights that allow pups in the cabin with you. To the immense joy of many dog lovers, the new local airline has created a unique offering for travelers to fly on board selected flights with their small dogs in a pet-friendly carry bag placed under the seat in front of them. And for those that aren't pet fanatics or have allergies, not to worry, only a limited number of pets are allowed to travel on selected flights, and a rigorous cleaning schedule is conducted in between flights. The new service is only for small dogs. They aren't able to accommodate big dogs at present, but we've learned that they're looking at other options right now. Meanwhile, it's exciting news, I think, for many of those with little paws and them jetting around the country. Well, you can ponder that and the size of your dog as we move into the sports headlines. Let's kick it off with football news. In our sports bulletin, Banyana recorded a 2-0 win over neighbours Botswana in an international friendly match playing out at the Wits University Stadium in Johannesburg yesterday. South Africa have made it 2 wins in 2 matches, thanks to goals by Tembi Kgatlana and Gabriela Salgado. This was Banyana's second match in 3 days. On Saturday, they came from behind to defeat Zambia 3-1 at the same venue. Now, a little further afield, but staying with the beautiful game, Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain have advanced to the UEFA Champions League semi-finals. Despite suffering a 1-0 defeat to Porto in the last 8 second leg match, Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea, they sealed their place in the Champions League semis, where they will face either Liverpool, who are behind on aggregate, or Real Madrid, currently with their nose out in front. Champions League holders Bayern Munich, they were knocked out of the competition despite a 1-0 win as well over PSG last night. PSG advancing on away goals. That means they'll face either Manchester City or Borussia Dortmund in the last 4. And tonight, of course, Liverpool and Real Madrid go head-to-head again, and Man City take on Dortmund for a spot in those semi-finals, both encounters kicking off at 9 p.m. And then finally, on to cricket. Defending champions, the Mumbai Indians secured their first win of the brand new Indian Premier League season by beating the Kolkata Knight Riders by 10 runs in Chennai. The 2020 champions were dismissed for a below-par 152 in their innings, with Andre Russell picking up 5 wickets for just 15 runs. And in a dramatic finish, KKR, led by Owen Morgan, needed 15 off the last over, but only managed to get 4 runs to finish on 142 for 7. There'll be one IPL fixture to look out for today. That's the Sunrisers Hyderabad up against the Royal Challengers Bangalore, kicking off at 4 p.m. Well, that's where we leave our sport for this hour. Let's get a look at your skies and a take on our morning weather.
Thank you, Graham. And we love starting the day on a positive note and seeing your views that our viewers share with us. That definitely does the job. Now, Andrew Harris from Belito shared this absolutely gorgeous golden and burnt orange image with us of the sun rising through the streets in the distance. And it looks as though you're in for a great day ahead with a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius. Denzel Basson from Ugrabis in the Northern Cape shared this view of the sky transitioning from hues of yellow to blues as the skyline gets lighter. If you're in Ugrabis through the region, you can expect another scorcher of a day with temperatures reaching a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. And if you would like to see your photo featured during one of our sunrise segments, all you have to do is head on over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your photo with us. If your sunrise snaps are prize winners, you could win yourself one of those oh so chic Nespresso travel mugs each week for 5 weeks. And remember to post your pictures to the competition post that's on the Expresso Facebook page with that hashtag Nespresso Sunrise. And while we love seeing the way our local viewers start their day, we also have to take a moment to acknowledge our growing international audience on YouTube and the Africa channel. This morning, we send greetings to any viewers that may be watching from the state capital city of Concord. That's in New Hampshire this morning. Concord experiences long, cold, snowy winters and very warm and at times humid summers. Today, however, conditions are expected to have times of sun and clouds, starting at a minimum of 4 degrees Celsius and peaking at only 17 degrees Celsius. Some international news for you. The United Kingdom this week took a huge step towards normality as pubs and restaurants opened their outdoor dining areas, with shops, hairdressers and gyms also opening up. The reopening, however, coincided with atrocious weather. But nothing was going to get between a thirsty Brit and a pint or a meal after 4 months of lockdown. Not even driving rain or snow flurries. The cold snap that swept across the Isles this week has been very much out of the ordinary. The Met Office said unusually chilly air from the Arctic was streaming towards the UK, which could see temperatures plummet to -8 degrees Celsius in some areas, this just a few weeks out from summer. Flurries of snow were experienced across the southeast of England in counties including Berkshire and Kent, as well as London nonetheless. Brits happily munched on al fresco kebabs as the white stuff fell all around them and took their umbrellas to beer gardens to enjoy a pint. Well, on that note, let's quickly look at your temperatures here in South Africa. If you're in Polokwane today, a partly cloudy day ahead with a high of 30. Mbombela 16, reaching a high of 33. Pretoria 17, 29. Johannesburg 15, reaching a high of 28. It's partly cloudy in Mahikeng today with a high of 31. Klerksdorp 12, reaching a high of 31. A hot day for Kimberley today, 13, reaching a high of 32. Bloemfontein 9, reaching a high of 31. Sunny conditions in Richards Bay with a high of 33. Pietermaritzburg 15, reaching a high of 33. Durban 21 with a high of 30. Mthatha 14, reaching a high of 31. Some rain can be expected in East London today, a low of 17, a high of 26. Cradock 12, reaching a high of 34. Gqeberha 16, reaching a high of 24. It's partly cloudy in George today with a high of 24. Cape Town 17, 24. Worcester 14 with a high of 35. Sutherland 11, 28. And sunny conditions in Uppington today, a low of 17 and a high of 36 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather for now. We'll have another update shortly after 7.
Thank you so much, Zoe Brown, for that weather update. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people always ask us, how do we start our morning? I mean, for you, G, you are a man of many talents. You're a dad, you're a boss, you're an
let's call them
owner.
not talents, functions.
Functions, that too. So
Functions.
it's always interesting to see how you start your
Well,
day.
I mean, normally it's here. We're here before the sun rises, and that's what we do. But there are those rare days where we get to actually just do our own thing, and you will find out exactly how I do my own thing in just a moment. And of course, coffee is involved, whether I'm here or there or anywhere. Coffee is there, and coffee will be here after this. We'll see now.
Can I make me a cup of coffee, please?
Please.
Please.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on S3. Now, you know what? When it comes to our presenters, Graham, he is an OG.
He is.
He is the OG of all OGs.
He's the veteran with a heart of gold.
Yep.
Who adds sunshine to our lives every single morning. But believe it or not, he does have a home away from this home, and we checked in to see how he starts his day.
That is how your day should start every single day. Admittedly, the sun isn't normally up when I'm up. I'll be on the live show most weekday mornings, so I'm up really, really early, and my morning routine is slightly different to this. But on those rare occasions that I can be at home, this is how it plays out. And normally by this time, I'll probably be about 4 cups of coffee down if I was doing the live show. So naturally, my first stop is this little baby over here. And at the moment, I'm loving exploring the Lungo Explorations range, taking you right across the world. They've got a Cape Town blend, which is absolutely beautiful. But my favorite, I've got to say, I think because it's quite an intense flavor and it's kind of balanced. It's got the beautiful biscuity, malty flavors, but still also gives you a lacquer kick and a beautiful roasty kind of flavor and taste. Buenos Aires, baby. So I'm traveling halfway around the world before I've even left my house. And now I can officially start my day. So my back surgery and the long physical journey I've been on since then has been obviously well documented on the show. And it's amazing how my whole approach to physicality has changed. Every day I've got to try and get in my rehab, and that's all about building strength again in all those muscles and tendons around the spine, my core to support the skeletal kind of structure. And I've got a couple of go-to exercises and strength builders, a couple of stretches that I try to do whenever I can. Obviously with a 4-year-old running around, not so easy. When I'm alone, I can get down to business. A major part of my physical process now, since the operation, has been obviously managing what goes into my body, not being able to exercise in the way that I used to. I've now got to manage the calorie load and make sure that I'm getting all the right kind of nutrients into my system. And a smoothie like this is an absolute go-to. And it's also got some of the things that I just really enjoy the flavor of the most. So this has a great balance of kind of natural ingredients, good slow burn energy in the banana, potassium, magnesium. My absolute favorites, no added salt and sugar, peanut butter, an absolute gem, and I think that's like the flavor profile. And then a good clean protein to feed the muscles. It's a nice clean smoothie, great way to start the day. And there you have it, nutritious and delicious. A Zoom meeting. This is how I connect with my network, whether it's on the Expresso side or with other business ventures. And I think a lot of us are really kind of trying to capitalize, maximize our time. And right now I'm connecting with a familiar face, someone I'm sure is sick of me at work, but lots to chat about and revise on the show. Lush, good to connect with you, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you so much. It's a great afternoon, so I'm actually enjoying the sun rays and everything else.
I kind of felt like everyone's energy was a little bit low. I know a bit of a midweek slump, but it felt like a good show. How did you feel?
Well, today's show was actually so much fun because we had a variety of everything. So we also had a live performance from a young artist. But the highlight for me today was actually having a viewer.
Yeah.
An Expresso viewer show. She was in the culinary hotline and she was actually cooking with Chef Clem. And that was my highlight because these are the people that actually make the show, our viewers. And
completely.
In the studio, having a ball of a time.
I think for a viewer to just kind of be thrown into that situation, there were no nerves. She was lovely. She was really laid back, but it worked really well. Oh, buddy, you're a legend. Thanks for that, and we'll see you bright and early. And yeah, go and get some rest, dude. And that is just a little window into my morning routine when I can steal a couple of quiet hours and try to make the most of it. Right now, I thought I'd close it off with a Cape Town lungo just to inspire me for the rest of my day. And now I better get into a shower and embrace the rest of my day. I hope yours tastes as good as mine. Cheers.
You inspire me so much. That's how I want to start my day every single day.
It's amazing how similarly we all approach our days when we get the opportunity. It's coffee. It's like a fitness routine, a stretch, some yoga, something along those.
And every single
yeah, and connect with Lush. So sorry, I apologize again, Lucian, for bothering you when I wasn't at work. But yeah, that's how I start my day, and hopefully you are starting your day just as well right now. Make sure that you got a cup of coffee in your. In fact, where is the coffee?
You said you were going to get
it's,
one.
Come on.
With every cup, we cultivate some of the finest coffee in the world, celebrating farmers as artists, elevating every coffee moment. Because with every cup, precious coffee preserves the beauty of our world. Nespresso, what else?
Well, one thing we all have in common on your Feel Good Breakfast show is a Feel Good morning needs to start off with a great cup of coffee. But it's not complete without a mouth-watering lunch.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover.
Well, jazz up an all-time vegetarian favorite by adding vibrant root veg. Now, our beetroot falafels with our Clover Bliss sauce is better than the store-bought stuff, and it's easy to enjoy and whip up at home. And we have Ilham Banubai Anwar in studio with us to show us how to make these delicious beetroot falafels. I am a sucker for beetroot, so I'm very excited
You're
to try
going to love this. So we're adding beetroot to a normal falafel mixture.
Okay.
So we're going to go straight into the blender with our chickpeas.
And are these the type of chickpeas you just get from the can?
Yes, these are tinned. You don't need to, they're not the dry ones that you can soak, but you can obviously use those if you want to as well.
We are here for easy recipes, quick and easy.
Yeah, and I mean, this is, you can't get easier than this. You're putting everything in a blender and whizzing it up.
Does all the work for you.
Yeah.
So what have you just added?
So I've added some cumin, and I'm going to add now some tahini. This is optional if you don't have tahini. Tahini is sesame paste.
Okay.
And then I've also added some red onion and some garlic. Now I'm going to go in with the cooked beetroot. And then we're going to add the flour.
There we go.
And then just a squeeze of lemon, because you know lemon makes everything better.
It does make everything better. I agree with you.
Just for some freshness.
There we go.
And then I'm actually just going to add a little bit of water just to loosen up this mixture.
I know the blender always loves a little bit of liquid, and it really just gets the work going for us.
And then we're just going to make this really nice and tight. And
Let's go. Of course, with this, you keep mixing and blending and mixing and blending until you get the paste that we want.
Yeah, so we've got our paste already made here. And what we're going to do, we're going to take about a spoonful of mixture and then just make this into a round ball. And then we're going to dip each ball and coat them in sesame seeds, and then this gets baked.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for how long would we bake that for?
I would say maybe about 20 minutes.
20 minutes or so.
25 minutes, yeah.
In the oven at 180 degrees,
Yeah.
and you're good to go. I love how quick and easy this recipe is. Now, I want to make our Clover Bliss sauce. So I will be using our Clover Bliss double cream plain yogurt. It is a sauce. It has 10 vitamins in it. So I'm going to add about 1/3 of a cup. So I'm just going to be a bit generous here and just estimate 1/3 of a cup. I'm going to be a little bit more. There we go. And then we're going to add 1 garlic clove that I'm going to grate.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than fresh garlic.
And the sauce goes really well with, you know, like beetroot is quite earthy because it's a root vegetable. So it's got quite an earthy flavor. And the sauce just sort of like freshens it up.
There we go. Oh, I love the smell of garlic, and first thing in the morning, fresh garlic is the way to go. There we go. So I'm just grating that up for us. And then everything's here at the back of our grater, some garlic, and then like you said, a squeeze of lemon is always a win. I'm going to add some of that for us.
Adds a touch of like acidity and some fresh flavor to that bliss sauce.
And then some tahini, which is optional.
Yeah, if you can't get tahini, you can leave it out.
You know what, I actually had to make my own once, and it was very simple. You simply toast your sesame seeds and then you pop it in a blender, and then that's how you get your sesame sauce. And then, of course, we're going to garnish with a little bit of parsley.
That looks really good.
Thank you. I think it's going to go so well with our falafel balls. And if you are loving the idea of this recipe, make sure you get it. It is available on our website. That's expressoshow.com. Okay, here we go. Look at us. This was quite a quick, easy recipe.
And I mean, you know, you can serve this plain by itself, or you can put it in a pita, you know, put it in a wrap.
There we go. You can even add a little bit of hummus with it.
Yeah.
Oh, this really sounds amazing. So you'll simply serve it, of course, how we have it over there. We put our clover double bliss sauce into a little container and our beautiful falafel balls that were so quick and easy to make. Ilham, thank you for showing us this wonderful recipe. And you know what the cool thing is? To get the ingredients, you can simply head on over to our website, expressoshow.com. And remember, you stand a chance to win a VIP experience with Bliss. And to enter, simply purchase any of your favorite Clover Bliss double cream yogurts. You can dial *120*809#, then follow the prompts. There are also movie tickets to be won, so go on and get entering. There are some T's and C's that apply, and those can be found on clover.co.za. But if you've missed any of the steps to this delicious recipe, here's a quick recap. Oh, this looks good.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
With the creamy decadence of double cream bliss from Clover, yogurt has never been so irresistible.
Made with love by Clover. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. You're still opening up with S3 on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Of course, April marks Stress Awareness Month, and stress and anxiety have been on the rise. Yes, let's take a deep breath in. It has been on the rise since the COVID-19 pandemic, only naturally so. But people are anxious than ever before. They are faced with demanding schedules, high expectations, just to name a few. And of course, family therapist and social worker, good friend of ours, Talia Ressel, joins us this morning to share some very important tools to help you deal with this prevalent issue in society. And it's so good to have you with us, because I feel like the last time we had you was just before the hard lockdowns. We were not feeling so much stress and so much anxious as we are now.
Yes, now we're a little bit battle weary. We've been in it for a good year, and the finish line is not quite as close as we thought. Exactly.
It keeps moving.
Exactly.
Boy, a lot has changed since the last time we saw you, and I suppose we need to look at this from two different angles, because it seems like there are two different layers to this. And I need you maybe to define stress, because there are stressful situations, stressful things going on that are impacting us, and then a state of anxiety, which seems to be something quite different. How would you define those two?
Okay, so stress and anxiety are both normal, appropriate feelings. We're supposed to have them. It's just, when are they supposed to come? So stress comes typically when there's stressful external events, things happening, COVID, job issues, children, outside events, and then we react to them, and when those events settle, then we settle. So it's appropriate. Anxiety happens when it's now that there's not necessarily an external thing, it's something internal that's happening. So even when things have calmed down, we're still feeling you can't turn it off. Exactly. And while anxiety is good for when we're in a state of danger, if we need to
fight or flight.
Exactly. But sitting at home when you're not facing danger and you're still feeling that distress, that's anxiety.
And you're obviously working in the forefront of this right now. Everyone is either feeling stressed or anxious. What are you witnessing during this period and the space that we're in right now?
How are we doing? Yeah.
We
Blink
are...
twice if you don't.
Exactly. We are not okay. I mean, to some degree, there's been a good level of resilience that we are seeing, but on the other hand, it's as if when I was here last time at the beginning, we all braced, like when they say the plane is going down, and we all braced, and then we carried on bracing, and it was like, is it coming, is it not coming? And this extended level of distress and hypervigilance has led to us feeling burnt out and exhausted and afraid to do things and unsure. Every decision was, should we do this? Should we go here? Do you wear a mask? Do you do this? Do you send your child here?
How are my kids handling it?
Exactly. What do I do for my child? Like all these things. So we are tired and we are overwhelmed and we're not sleeping very well, as we were saying.
Massive impact. I think we forget. I mean, two of the people closest to me in my world aren't able to sleep despite trying everything at the moment. And I think also we thought new year, breath of fresh air, everything will be okay. Straight back into exactly the same reality. You mentioned the word resilience. People have been surviving. People have adjusted. I've found a new way. I think everyone has kind of adjusted. I hate to use the word the new normal, but we have been able to find a way. But the finish line isn't in sight. And as we pointed out, it's still moving. We still don't know when we're going to be in the clear.
Exactly.
So why is it so important to have that conversation now, to talk about this now?
Because we are reaching critical levels of anxiety and stress among especially young people. Without that finish line, we were kind of holding on for the end of 2020. Let's just get through this and then we'll be okay. And we saw what happened in December as we got hit with that second wave. And I think people just are struggling to hang on anymore. They are struggling to find the reserve to carry on. So we're seeing really high levels of anxiety. And we need to talk about it because there is still the stigma. Mental health, we still are not so comfortable saying, I need help. I'm not doing okay. And so that's why this conversation, especially for young people who have really, really had a rough time, because they don't have...
Imagine going through matric.
Totally. And they don't have a sense of perspective. So, this is a big deal right now for them. They can't get that idea it will pass. But they've lost out on so many opportunities. They don't want to be sitting at home with their family. They're supposed to be out there in the world. And we've actually said, no, the world is unsafe. Stay nuclear, as we use that word, stay insular.
It's okay not to be okay. That's the bottom line. The whole world is experiencing this together, and we are certainly sharing this experience, and possibly there is an opportunity to grow that we've never had before. How do we deal with the stress? Well, that is what we're going to talk about next. Whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you have a family or not, we're going to be giving you some coping mechanisms to deal with this COVID fatigue, and we'll continue the conversation with Talia in just a moment.
Well, family and support is one thing that never goes out of fashion. And with winter on the horizon, layering up is the way to go, but that doesn't mean we can't do it in style. Our fashion editor, Knox Mafu, she is here to get us excited about adding those extra layers using these oh-so-famous puffer jackets to the entire family from Woolies. I'm loving the puffer jackets that I'm seeing at the moment. These are so cute. Look at these mini ones.
I know, the mini ones are actually my favorite. I just want to put a little people in them so I can just see them waddle around.
Now, Knox, I'm seeing a range of puffer jackets.
Yes.
What makes the puffer so amazing this winter?
I think it's one of those things that are so easy to put on. They really do know how to elevate an outfit. But I think the most important thing is that it's kind of centered around comfort and warmth, which is great. But it's so easy to put on and comes in a variety of colors. It's one of those things that, like, you could hide a very chilled outfit underneath there, keep warm, and still have that edge, which is great.
Now, for me, I just know of putting the puffer jacket on and then that's the look. But how are there different ways to... Is it even possible to style a puffer jacket any differently?
Absolutely. I think, you know, the layering is a big part of that, right? So I think if we look at the athleisure kind of style that we've seen booming, I mean, we've spent lots of time talking about that. So if you have something from the athleisure range, you could then add a little bit of a sleeveless cut to it, or you could add, you know, a puffer to that. So it's really kind of that versatile, edgy look, but then also there's a more boho chic look. So down with the skirt, you could add it with your knitwear and then add that on top. And then, of course, your smart casual, really, where you're using your kind of faux leather items. And we know all our top celebs are doing that. So really, if you look at streetwear and all of that, the puffer jacket really is the center of the hottest looks we're seeing.
I like that. And I mean, if when in doubt, just come to Knox Mafu and she'll sort us out on how to style the puffer jacket.
Absolutely.
Now, obviously, the ones you have here, they're all from Woolworths. Let's talk through the ones that you have. Are cute. I quite like this.
I know,
Be your own
right?
hero.
Exactly.
It's so cute.
It's very cute and very comfortable. So if we start with the kiddies, we've got a range of those made with recycled materials, which is always so important. And then, of course, the sleeveless one, which has got a fun graphic on it. But, of course, warmth is the most important thing. So what I love is that there's also ones with a little bit of fabric inside there that's going to keep them snug and warm.
And look at this ombre. This is so fun.
It's fun and it's like flirty and fun. And then, of course, when we go to the gents, we've got the more practical items. So if you're going to go hiking or you need something with a little bit more sustenance, then this is something that's really great. I love the kind of khaki pattern.
Camouflage.
Camouflage. Yes, that's exactly it. And then, of course, we've got the sleeveless ones, which are more your lightweight. So really from the more pronounced puffer, oh, this is also another one. For some reason, I feel like Tabiso would like this. I don't know why. Immediately, this is definitely something that screams Tabsy. I like the kind of real pronounced hood that's over there. So there's so many styles. If you're playing for a more flirtatious thing, there is. More practical and lightweight, we've got it for you too. But all made of recycled materials and also water resistant, which is super important.
Okay, well, I love that we are talking about these beautiful jackets on the railing, but can we see them on someone?
You can see it in action.
We have a special modella.
So, hey girl, look at you. I love this one.
Stunning, right?
And the
Very
way,
stunning.
So what is nice about this one is that it also accentuates the waist. We know that the puffer, true to its form, does add a bit of more volume, but here we can cinch it with the waist. There's a bit of an announcement there on the hood.
Look at you.
And it's literally changed the dynamic of her outfit, you know. So I love that the pockets are also just perfectly placed.
Do you like the pockets?
I love everything. I feel like I could go hiking now.
Yeah.
Just and look.
You look so stylish in this.
You can't hike it. This is too
You can't hike in this. It's too fabulous. But I want to take a picture for the gram. Just be like, hey, everybody, look at me. But
Absolutely.
yeah, loving everything.
Oh, that's stunning.
And they're so beautiful.
Absolutely. So I think these are the items that, you know, if she wore it maybe with her, like with her jeans now, but if she wanted to add her full kind of athleisure look, she could definitely do so. So really, this is something you can wear with your performance gear, your smart casual, with even a skirt, actually.
Oh.
A printed little fun skirt would be also great with heels. So
And I like this color because it's more on the neutral side.
100%.
Most puffer jackets, you know, there's always that bright color that you always associate with fitness or outdoor clothing, but this is toned down that you can wear to the office, to studio, to your next meeting, on a date, wherever Jamie goes after the show.
JD.
you look great.
There we go.
Amazing. Thank you, Jamie. She looks incredible. I love how you styled it.
No, literally, it's so fun. And the thing is, the ease of these things is great. So even with your knitwear items that we've gone through, the puffer jacket is so perfect to add that extra layer. I love to talk about textures, so this is it.
Oh, well, Knox, it's always so great to hear from you. And of course, I'm getting very excited for the cold weather, only for the fashion. Only because we get to layer, like Knox said. Now, change the game this season with this layering essential. You can buy puffer jackets for the whole family from Woolworths. They're available in store, online, and on the Woolies app.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us and rejoining a very important conversation. Earlier in the show, we spoke about the increase in that state of anxiety among children and adults, teens. Everyone has been affected by the coronavirus pandemic in some way. We're continuing our conversation now with family therapist, social worker, and good friend Talia Russell. I normally mess up your first name. Now I thought I'd mess up your last name. You're Tulls to us now. You're Tully Baby. That's what we're going to call you. Thanks so much for joining us. I would imagine for you, you've had to take on quite a massive load now because you're dealing with this and your own stress and everybody else's stress. But when it comes to our kids, that's when it becomes the most intense for me. How do we help children, and in particular teens, who I think have probably gone through the most over this last year? What is the answer for helping them deal with not just the stressful situations, but that anxiety, as you pointed out?
Yes. So I think, absolutely, first we've got to understand that for teens, why it's been so hard is because their natural development is to separate. They're supposed to pull away from the family unit.
Independent.
Exactly, and find the social unit.
Yeah.
And we cut that off almost completely. You know, there was no school and socializing was frowned upon. I mean, under hard lockdown, they were stuck at home. So they've really taken strain, and they, as I said earlier, they don't have perspective. They can't see that this will pass.
They can't reference it against something else.
Exactly. Things and things with our teens feel so intense because they feel them so intensely. That's why when we can go, you know what, like you'll do it another time, for them it is such a loss. And so one way we can help them is by acknowledging what they're going through. To help, I always encourage the teens to have some structure. So it feels so silly, but actually when we're feeling stressed and anxiety and anxious, to have no structure to the day actually feeds that sense of uncertainty. So break your day down into, okay, what are you going to do this morning? And then, okay, right now, what are you going to do this afternoon? So you don't have the big picture. I encourage kids, I know that we've done so much online, and that's been amazing to be connected, but you can't live online. And you do need to actually see other human faces and get fresh air.
Exercise.
Listen, I know, but it doesn't even have to be strenuous exercise.
No, for sure, yeah. No,
Just,
I mean,
just move your body.
having that taken away from me with the back operation, I didn't realize how much of an outlet that is to relieve that physical stress.
Well, because with stress and anxiety, your body gears up for fight, flight, or freeze. So you get this adrenaline going. And so if you don't do anything and you just sit there and you're playing Fortnite, where you're getting even more anxiety going, more adrenaline, it's just coursing through your veins with nothing to do except make your thoughts spin. So rather walk it off or jog it. Well, don't even have to jog. Walk it off.
Run, man. You're young, you can run. Go do it.
Here's the thing, we're speaking about the children and also why they need so much attention now during this space, but let's take a step back. What about the parents? How do we, deal with it? How do we deal with our children as well in this space? Because obviously they're anxious, they're stressed, but we are 10 times more stressed.
How do I support my partner?
How do you support them in this space as well?
Yes. Well, you put your mask on first, in that sense. So you've got to manage your own stress and anxiety around that. Look, it will be normal and it's appropriate to speak to your child about some of your stresses. You don't have to hide it completely because you want to model to your child, I also get stressed. This is how I manage it.
Process it, yeah.
Exactly. You're giving them some tools. Then I would say to parents, do not say, don't be worried, everything's going to be fine. That doesn't help. Rather say, do you want to talk to me about it? And don't throw out solutions. Ask your child, do you want me just to listen? Or do you want me to help you come up with how to handle that? So that can be helpful for the child to process it with somebody else. And I think with parents to understand that these are intense times. There was no manual for this, so you're going to get it wrong. We're all getting it wrong. But it's in how we repair that that's really helpful for our children.
Are we going to bring up a social comment? We've been asking our viewers to weigh in as well, and I'd love to see what they've been saying. But I'm going to ask you, just as we start to round off the conversation, is there a silver lining? Are we going to be better people as a result of this one giant shared experience?
I think it's going to be like with everything, where there are gains and there are losses. And I think there have been huge gains. I can see it in my children's resilience. In some things that I thought that would floor them, they've just gotten on with it. And then there's been other losses that we I think are going to struggle to come to terms with for a long time. But is there a silver lining? I think we always have to try and focus on that, because otherwise it can get too depressing to just focus on the losses.
For sure. We got that comment right now on the screen. It's from Nkosi. It says, it was really hard, but my wife, we tried to make them understand if you want to go outside, you have to stay inside. So weighed in on that conversation as well. We have another one from Ruqayya Shabudin saying, good morning. It was a bit difficult at first, especially for my 3-year-old, especially adapting to a mask and sanitizing all the time and not being able to go out. But I think my kids adapted very well, much better than I expected, and I'm proud of them because they comply over 90% of the time, and they remember the basics of wearing a mask, sanitizing and distancing. At 3 years old, this is what we had to introduce.
Well, completely, and it's just bizarre that President Cyril Ramaphosa is known as Mr. Corona to my 3-year-old, because we would obviously have to watch every time. But that's, at first it was the granola virus, and then it became the coronavirus. But I have to echo what our viewers are saying, is I'm so proud of how my kids have adapted. You talk about that resilience. Children, above all else, are strong, resilient, and they have powerful emotions, and I think we need to remember that.
Yes.
Just because they are young, it doesn't mean they're feeling it any less. As a teenager, you probably have the most powerful emotions that you'll experience in your life, so stay cognizant of that, but put your mask on first. Look after yourself. Thank you so much. I feel actually a lot better after just having just a moment, so I would suggest you do that. If you need help, speak to a professional, someone who has the tool set to be able to help you. Thank you so much.
Sure. And you know what the truth is? The truth is there is always help. And now we turn our focus to a story about a home for neglected and abused as well as unwanted horses. It's called Tom Rowe Haven. It's a place that uses their horses in various programs to help children and adults with emotional support. Watch this.
out here at Tom Rohaven for equines and children, and it's a registered non-profit organization and home for unwanted, neglected and abused horses that are used in various programs to assist children and adults with emotional support. And I'm out here right now to get a first-hand look at exactly how this magic happens. Gillian, it's an absolute pleasure meeting you. You're offering assistance to vulnerable children out here at Tom Rohaven. But what exactly is it that you do, and what are you hoping to achieve?
We don't just assist vulnerable children, we assist victims of human trafficking and adults who have substance issues, who have depression, and who have been physically and sexually abused as well. What we do, we call it equine therapeutic interaction. So we facilitate that interaction. So essentially the horses will come and they will connect to a person, and then you see the healing start to happen, and it is profound. And we've seen the shyest, most retiring young people come in here and suddenly take charge. You know, after a few sessions, they're taking charge, they're organizing things, they're helping feed, they're working with difficult horses, and that's not us. That is purely the horse, giving them the confidence. So all of these horses are rescued, and it is scientifically proven that the more abused a horse is, the more empathy and the compassion they have for an abused individual. So they connect much better and they heal. So what do we want to achieve? We want to help. We want to rescue more horses, and we want to rescue more people.
What exactly was the initial motivation for starting this program?
In 2006, we went through a number of personal tragedies. I hadn't been around horses for 22 years. I lost my nephew in Afghanistan, lost my mum. We lost a Catholic priest I'd known since I was 13, and then a couple of years later, I lost my dad. Tom Rowe is called after my mum and dad. Now, we just couldn't find peace. So we went to volunteer at a local horse care unit, and then we realized that there was a desperate need to start helping horses. But more importantly, we were reminded of the peace and the therapy and the healing that power that horses have. And I was determined to start helping horses and to make this interaction available to everybody.
Seeing the smiles on these kids' faces, it was just enough for me to know that something good's going on here. But what exactly are the programs that you're offering?
The most important thing that we offer is an opportunity to interact with the horses. So often we just encourage them to be quiet and to just connect, because that's when the actual healing happens. And then we take it one step further. So they will get taught how to lead the horse over obstacles and poles and in and out things, just through being silent and just through force of will, how to gently make the horse do what you want it to do. And then we obviously give them riding lessons as well. But that's a slow process. Some people think we just give riding lessons and people come and they pop on the horse. That's not what we do. They have to groom. They have to connect with the horse. They have to learn respect. And by doing all of that, they learn respect and it empowers them. And it is just so amazing to see them grow in confidence, power, and respect, self-respect.
Have you seen any positive impact in these kids' lives at all?
Yes, we have seen children become more focused in school, become more confident in school, become more confident people generally. They realize that if they can make a horse do something and connect to a horse, there's nothing else that they can't do. And it just gives them that self-respect and self-confidence. And we've seen it time and time and time again.
Now, you've been looking after our horses and these incredible children for so long now, and I believe it's time that Mzansi helped you in order to achieve and continue this incredible work that you're doing. So how can the public get on board to assist?
One of our primary needs at the moment before the end of the year is suitable land. We have been so blessed that the people who own this land, which is PropGen and Generation School, have allowed us to use this land for free since March last year. So we are incredibly blessed and thankful. But they're going to want to do something with the land at some point. It's very valuable. So we need land, even if it's just basic infrastructure. The most important thing is that we need water. We've got to have access to water. And then we need money. We need money to buy the supplements for the horses, new saddles, stuff for the children, because we also supply them with what they need. We try and assist them wherever we can with school materials, with clothes, with food. So we need help and assistance with that. And then we do outreach programs, and we really need people to get more involved with that so that we can help and rescue more horses and stop this continued abuse and neglect of horses. They are truly the forgotten ones in animal welfare. If we've got access to enough land and finance, we can help more horses and we can help more people.
Well, you can clearly see how important the connection to our animals are. So let's get behind Tom Rohaven and support everything that they're doing. And of course, keep the smiles on these beautiful faces. Yay! Hey, that's mine! Hey!
I love it. Two of my favorite things, children and horses. And look at that, how incredible the work that they're doing in that space. But we know how much of a support our dearest animals can be to all of us at home. Let's help those who desperately need that animal connection to continue getting it over there at Tom Rohaven. I love that. Ladies, what's happening?
Thank you, Tubsy. Well, what's happening right now is we asked you this morning to tell us how have the little ones in your life handled the COVID pandemic, and we're going to take a look at what some of you had to say.
We'll start off with Belinda Francis, who said, "Good morning, beautiful family. At first, it was quite difficult, but a 6-year-old understands. She watched a documentary about the virus and understood the importance of staying at home. Very smart little girl, always sanitize. We baked, we played, and we read books. It was difficult, but we got through it." And again, just to reiterate what G was saying, they are resilient, they understand, they know, and we just have to explain that to them.
I know, and I mean, growing up, I think there was, there's a sense of sometimes parents want to protect their child by not telling them the truth, but the kids just want to know the truth, and they can handle it.
Understandably
They can handle it.
We have one more from Rolf Ronaldo Lesabane saying, "Good morning. It was very hard to keep it from them before they could understand it, but I'm glad today they really know it." And again, to say they're going into a space, they're going to school where people are speaking about it, so you have the conversation with them, explain to them what you're feeling, but also explain to them what is going on around in the world. And I think that's the best part that we took from Talia Ressel this morning, is just explain that to them and make them understand what we're going through together.
There we go. Well, if you would love to add to that conversation, you can still head on over to our social media, and don't forget that hashtag Expresso Show.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you gorgeous people. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, here on S3. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. Wednesday is always a good time to talk about money. Talk about your budget. Because who doesn't want to live in a big, beautiful home with views for days
100%, man.
and days and more days after those days? We've got some pretty houses to show you. Tell me which one you would choose, actually, Graham.
House A or B? Let's have a little look here. Let's have a little look here.
Which one would you pick between A and B? Ooh, I know which one I'd pick.
It's difficult. It's difficult. Because they kind of conjure images of different lives.
Yes, that's it.
You know what I'm saying? One is like, I'm successful and I'm living in Look at that.
Yeah, I'd pick A of the first slide we saw.
B.
It's difficult,
I think,
right?
look, that setting is insane. I think I'd have to go with B, but look
Being
at that.
more the city slicker that I am, I'd go for A.
I don't know.
And
this is very difficult. Can I have them all? Can I have them all?
So which one was your one here, man?
I think I would probably go with A because it fits the life that I want to get to.
Yes.
B is like where I would retire after my kids have left home and I'm just chilling.
Just you and your lady.
So I think I'll probably go
the holidays. Are any of these houses within your budget today?
They're in my budgetary plan. They're in the plan of where I want to get to.
Yeah.
So no, not after a year and a half of COVID.
No.
They're not in my budgetary plan. But they're a part of where I want to go. They're part of that aspirational trajectory of my life.
Thinking along which way you need to be going.
In a concrete way of how I need to get there.
And that's exactly it. When it comes to buying a house, before we decide on a beachfront villa or a city penthouse like I would pick, even though I can't afford today, we all need to find, what the budget is that we can work within. First, establish our budget. We need to be realistic to make sure that we can very comfortably, which is very important, you've got to be comfortable with it, very comfortably meet those monthly repayments.
Yep, because you're going to be in that deal for a while. And in order to buy a home, you will most likely need a home loan. So as part of the home loan application process, you will need a list of all of your income or every one of your expenses, as well as all of your assets and then your liabilities. And the bank needs to see that you still have enough money to make your loan repayments after you have paid off all of your expenses. And you need to make sure that you still have enough left to look after yourself.
It doesn't help living in a stunning home when you can't buy food for it. If you're thinking about buying a home and you have a rough idea of your budget, then try this. It's fantastic. I've actually played around with it. It's Nedbank's new fantastic home loan affordability calculator. It's going to change the way that you look at budgets. It's going to ask you some questions to determine how much you can actually spend on your home loan every month. Okay, so you have to answer truthfully and honestly. To use the calculator, dial *120 *001 *123# and follow all the prompts. And once you have a budget, you are one step closer to becoming a homeowner.
Yeah, it'll make it real. And then we are coming over for a housewarming.
Oh yes, we'll be there.
Here's to you, Mzansi. Get 50% off the attorney bond registration fee plus 5,000 Rand cashback on your approved home loan. Dial *120 *001 *123# to find out how much you qualify for.
Well, it's now that time of the morning for us to take a look at your national headlines. The Department of Communications and Digital Technologies has published its draft national data and cloud policy for public comment outlining the government's plan to move towards online systems. Included in the policy is the proposal to create an online identity for South Africans, as well as increased public-private data sharing as a means of improving service delivery and uplifting people. The Department of Home Affairs earlier said that it was working on a new biometric system that would form part of the government's new digitally focused identity management policy. And SA will suspend the rollout of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine over blood clot fears, Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize said last night. He said the U.S. Food and Drug Administration advised a temporary suspension of its rollout of the J&J vaccine after 6 women developed, and I quote, unusual blood clots within 2 weeks of receiving the jab. He added that he hoped this matter would be sorted out within a few days. Meanwhile, SA has recorded 847 new coronavirus infections and 67 new COVID-19 related fatalities. Moving to news abroad, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken yesterday pledged America's full support to Ukraine in its conflict with Russia. This as NATO called on Moscow to halt a large troop buildup on Ukraine's borders. Blinken, returning to Brussels just weeks after his maiden trip to Europe as U.S. President Joe Biden's top diplomat, said, and I quote, "The U.S. stands firmly behind the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine." Blinken said Moscow was massing forces in its biggest buildup since 2014, when conflict flared between Ukraine and Russia and Moscow's annex the Crimea from Ukraine. And Twitter's CEO and co-founder Jack Dorsey has announced that Ghana would serve as the company's headquarters in Africa. This decision stems from Dorsey's visit to the region in 2019 and engagements with President Nana Akufo-Addo. Twitter is already looking to fill several specialized positions in Ghana, but Twitter is holding off on acquiring office space in the country, and all staff will continue to work from home amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo has responded by saying, and I quote, "The choice of Ghana as HQ for Twitter's Africa operations is excellent news." And next, Cape Townians are invited to get rid of food waste at drop-off sites. The city of Cape Town is presently trialing an organic food waste project aimed at diverting food waste from landfills, and it's appealing to the public to participate. The pilot project will assess the efficacy and potential for further rollout. The project will operate from 4 city drop-off sites in Belhar, Kalani, Hout Bay and Woodstock, and with 4 pop-up sites in Cape Town CBD, Claremont CBD, Durbanville and Somerset West. Participants will be issued a 5-litre bucket with an information leaflet to fill with organic food waste, temporarily storing it in a fridge or freezer. When the buckets are filled, the waste can be taken to a designated site from where the bucket was received. The bucket will then be decanted, cleaned and reissued to the individual. The project will run until June 30th with 200 participants per site. The national and provincial governments are setting a provisional target of 50% diversion of organic waste from landfill by 2022 and 100% diversion by the year 2027. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's another look at the sport with Graham.
Thanks so much, Zoe. Let's kick it off with football news, and they continue to go from strength to strength. Banyana recorded a 2-0 win over neighbours Botswana in their international friendly match at the Wits University Stadium in Johannesburg yesterday. South Africa made it now 2 wins in 2 matches, thanks to goals by Temi Kgotlana and Gabriela Salgado. This was Banyana's second match in just 3 days, in fact, and on Saturday they came from behind to defeat Zambia 3-1 at the same venue. Staying with football news, but a little further afield, Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain have advanced to the UEFA Champions League semi-finals. Despite suffering a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Porto in the last 8's second leg encounter last night, Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea, they've sealed their place in the Champions League semis, where they will face either Liverpool or Real Madrid. And then Champions League holders Bayern Munich, they were knocked out of the competition despite their 1-0 win over PSG last night. PSG advancing on away goals, and that means they'll face either Manchester City or Borussia Dortmund in the last 4. And it'll all be decided tonight as Liverpool and Real Madrid go head-to-head again, and Man City take on Dortmund for a spot in the semi-finals, both kicking off at 9 p.m. Then just one cricketing encounter to report on from yesterday. Defending champions Mumbai Indians, they secured their first win of the brand new Indian Premier League season by beating the Kolkata Knight Riders by 10 runs in a thriller in Chennai. The 2020 champions were dismissed for a below-par 152 in their innings. Andre Russell picking up an incredible 5 wickets for just 15 runs. But in a dramatic finish, KKR, led by Owen Morgan, needed 15 runs off the last over, and he's certainly the man to do it, but only managed to get 4 runs to finish on 142 for 7. And there'll be one IPL fixture again today as the Sunrisers Hyderabad face the Royal Challengers Bangalore. That one kicks off at 4 p.m. Well, that's where we leave our sport for this hour. Let's take another look at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures and get a take on the weather.
Thank you, Graham, and thank you to you for helping to start the day off with a positive note by sharing your beautiful sunrise photos with us. Kicking off our 7 a.m. weather, we have the stunning image of the sun rising over the ocean. This one was shared by Denise Yates from Mtlalume South Coast. Now, if you are in the Mtlalume area today, you can expect a sunny and humid day, reaching a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. One of our regulars, Nick Lombard from Huntham in the Northern Cape, shared this this luminous photo with us. A hot 34 degrees Celsius can be expected in your area today, Nick. And if you would like to see your photo featured during one of our sunrise segments, all you have to do is head on over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your photo with us, and don't forget to share your location too. If your sunrise snaps are prize winners, you could win yourself one of those oh-so-chic Nespresso travel mugs each week for 5 weeks. And remember to post your pictures to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook page with that hashtag Nespresso Sunrise. And we love to hear from you, our local viewers, as well as our growing international community too. This morning we send greetings to all of our viewers tuned in via the Africa channel and YouTube. So if you're in Dallas, Texas, this update is for you. And Dallas is the largest city in the state of Texas, with the city being characterized by quite a wide range of annual temperatures experienced. Located at the lower end of Tornado Alley, it is also prone to extreme weather tornadoes and hailstorms. Today, if you are in Dallas, you can plan for a cloudy day with times of showers in spots, and today will be as warm as yesterday with a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius. And further, a giant explosions rocked the island of St. Vincent yesterday as the La Soufriere volcano continued erupting, spewing a huge amount of ash and hot gas kilometers into the sky. It was the biggest explosive eruption yet since volcanic activity began on the eastern Caribbean island last week. Now, the cloud of ash produced by the eruption was blown in the direction of Barbados and turned day into night as it fell from the sky like snow across the island. Air quality also worsened and became hazardous for people with existing respiratory problems. Now, the explosions have already forced the evacuation of about 16,000 people. Scientists say the volcano's old and new dome have been destroyed and that a new crater has formed. They say explosions could continue for days or even weeks, and that the worst may be yet to come. Well, that's where we leave your international news. Let's quickly look at your temperatures here at home. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 14 can be expected with a high of 30. Mbombela, sunny, a low of 16, a high of 33. Pretoria 19, 29, Johannesburg 15, 28. Partly cloudy in Mahikeng today, it's 13 with your low, 31 your high. Sunny in Klerksdorp 13 with a high of 31. Kimberley 13, 32, Bloemfontein 9 reaching a high of 31. Sunny in Richards Bay with a high of 33 for today. Pietermaritzburg 15, 33, Durban 21 reaching a high of 30. It's partly cloudy in Mthatha, a low of 14, a high of 31. East London 17 reaching a high of 26. If you're in Cradock 12 with a high of 34 for today. Gqeberha 16 with a high of 24. George 14, 24. Cape Town 17, 24. A warm day in Worcester today, a low of 14 and a high of 35. Sutherland 11, 28, and sunny conditions in Uppington with a low of 17, a high of 36 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather for now. If you have a beautiful sunrise photo you'd love to share with us, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
Thank you so much, Zoe, for that update. It is time for the circus. Of course, we know that the third Saturday of every April is marked off to celebrate World Circus Day. And amidst the difficulties the industry is currently facing during the COVID-19 pandemic, it will be celebrated with even more pomp and vigor in 2021. And the world last saw the Zip Zap Circus perform at the Match in Africa charity showcase in February last year, 2020. And they're hitting the streets in full force as they perform a series of pop-up exhibitions in the Cape Town city centre late today. Now, joining Expresso this morning to share more is their marketing manager, Roxy Mitchell. A very good morning to you, Roxy.
Good morning, everybody. Lovely to be here.
Roxy, you got me so excited. There's something about the idea of circus that you simply cannot help but be excited about. I mean, this is beautiful.
Are you going to give it a try?
Well, yes, this is what I do. I usually do it on Fridays, so I can't do it today for you because my Fridays it's how spiritually I do it on Fridays.
Perfect.
But I'm so happy to have you here and that you're able to do it on any given day on command.
Not quite me, but,
but your team, you know. But the Zip Zap Circus, I mean, the company has, you guys as an organization have done such fantastic work with youth outreach programs that you have run. And it's beautiful to see how you've been able to connect with young people from all sorts of walks of life. The pandemic must have hit you hard. How exactly have you been able to still stay on your wheels during the pandemic?
Well, it really has been tough, and it's you know, we've been walking a tightrope at circus anyway. So circus doesn't only teach you circus skills, it also teaches you life skills and social skills. So we build resilience, we have a lot of grit and determination, and the one motto we have is that we never give up. So if you fall off your bike or you drop your juggling ball, you pick it up and you keep going, and for us the show must go on. So we managed to pivot relatively quickly. We digitized a lot of our training programs.
Love that.
We went online with an e-learning platform with one of our Dare to Dream, the syllabus on that. We did a whole lot of home movies. We repackaged all our old shows, did virtual screenings, so really pushed creative boundaries, and we had to think out of the box to reinvent ourselves and to remain relevant. But very importantly, it's not only about the physical well-being of our students, it's also about the emotional well-being. So we checked in with our students on a weekly basis. We made sure that mentally that they were able to cope with anxiety around living through a pandemic. So we also delivered food relief to some of our more needy families. We delivered that door to door in the Zip Zap bus. And we realized that there was also a huge gap with connectivity, because we wanted our kids to stay in touch with us with the online tutorials and the videos and the exercise classes, but a lot of them couldn't access data. So we initiated a campaign called the Raising Data, managed to raise a couple of 100,000 rand.
I love that for you. That's beautiful.
And then we distributed data so that everyone could remain connected, because the beauty about circus is that it's a circus family, and we wanted to make sure that all our children remained part of that family.
Roxy, amazing work that you and the Zip Zap Circus is doing. But you spoke about it, you're pushing the boundaries, and that is starting today with a pop-up art exhibition happening in and around Cape Town. It's a flash mob, it's a surprise, exclusive to Expresso. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, no more surprise.
Well, now it's no longer a
It's hitting the whole world now. But a wonderful opportunity, you know, with our inability to perform live, we linked up a partnership with the CCID, the Cape Town's Central Improvement District. They have a campaign called Come Back to Cape Town. Yes. And that is really to encourage the public to come back to the CBD and to rejuvenate the economy, because that's really what we need. So they had a mission and we had the entertainment to offer. So we joined forces with them, and we are having 5 pop-ups from 9:30 this morning all the way to 1:30.
You work hard, eh?
Oh, we never stop.
Oh, you
we
don't
worked
stop.
harder than ever before during the pandemic. There was no resting on our laurels. And anyone that's in the CBD or can get down there this morning will have this most magnificent surprise, because we are doing performances from Vatican Street all the way through to Newspaper House, St. George's Mall, Company Gardens. So the public is in for a great treat.
I love that, but I love that you create an environment, even in these pop-ups, that people can still rock up and be safe in that space. And you encourage that so much. I've seen the communication that you've put out to say people are seeing this, they've still got to have their masks on, even despite all of the excitement. But you've also been working hard off the streets. You've got a film called Moya, which you're going to be showcasing. It's a big project. Tell us about it.
It is a huge project. It's very unusual for us. It's nothing that we've ever done before. It's our first acrobatic art film.
Wow.
It came about because our director's daughter, who is a professional circus artist, she performs at a circus company in Montreal, Canada. There was no more work for those circus companies during the pandemic, so she came home, and the idea was that she was going to train our students and build a show. But then we can't travel anywhere with the show because Europe is pretty much closed down. We do travel to Europe and America to take our shows there. So we decided to do a film instead, and again, this was collective. It's a beautifully blended collection of movement film, acrobatics, African dance, so we include pansula, gumboot, and we blend it and fuse it with the traditional circus disciplines. So it's out the box, it's bold, it's colourful, and it's absolutely beautiful, exquisitely filmed. It's 50 minutes, so it's a short film, and it's narrated by one of our performers who's actually here today, Jason Barnard. He's our professional juggler, and he originated the rap It's a poetic rap which forms the narration for the film.
It's a beautiful story and one that has to be watched. It's sensational. 50 minutes of pure beauty. Roxy, thank you so much. We love your work. Love your work. Can't wait to see all of the different performances happening, but of course for the people to go out there and check it out, yeah?
Yes, absolutely. Now, as you can see, it's going to be a circus, a madhouse here on your Field
teaser?
Show, and you can enjoy their free performances at various spots in the city centre from 9:30 later this morning. But be sure to catch the spectacle of their acrobatic art film called Moya, which can be enjoyed through a virtual screening, which is going to be taking place on the 24th and the 25th of April, so later this month. Tickets are available on cricket.co.za for as little as 100 Rand, but they do have a performance coming for you, so you don't want to go anywhere. We'll see you after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
He's a rock star and he's about to rock your world with the latest movie trailers that have got him excited, and he's going to get us excited because these look like exciting films.
That's a lot of exciting. I have a lot of pressure on my shoulders.
Excited. Hey, you did the robot dance to see us into this, man, so that made me excited. Some cool movies breaking, and I think we're just excited about movies at the moment.
I'm excited. We're all excited.
We love it, man. We love it. The 800. Did I add enough bass to give it the
800 less decibels. All of these are Eastern offerings, Far Eastern action movies that I'm going to be showing you. Well, two of them, all of them that I'm talking about. 800 is actually based on a true story. Wow. What I get kind of like annoyed by is we've seen some fantastic World War II movies from like Dunkirk, Saving Private Ryan, The Pacific, Band of Brothers, etc., etc. TV series as well. But we learn nothing about the Eastern theater of war very often.
Yeah, you know, there was another side to the story.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah.
In fact, this is likely the battle that set off World War II. Shanghai, 1937, when China was desperately trying to push back a Japanese imperial advance into China after they had taken Manchuria, etc., etc. But anyway, this happens very much on a microcosmic world stage. And what I mean by that is that they had the eyes of the world all on them and what they were capable of doing, because in this specific battle, very close by were sort of the embassies or concessions of the Allies. Long story short, what the Chinese army did is they had 400 dudes only against 20,000 invading Japanese soldiers.
That's like Hannibal Hamilcar vibes, man.
The 300, you know, the gates of Thermopylae or whatever. All that aside, though, so unfortunately, after 4 days, they had to retreat, but all they were trying to do is just buy central China time. You can see it looks gritty, and it actually, you know, you think all these epic war movies only come out of Hollywood money, but this actually looks pretty good. It was the highest earning highest-earning movie of last year.
Wow.
And that's obviously for
and look, and yeah, but also the Chinese movie theatre goers support Chinese film, and there is a massive market for there. And I love the idea of these moments in history, how they can hinge on so few. The deeds of so few can turn the tide for the many. Absolutely love that. I see no date set.
I mean, like, yeah.
Let's look at another Eastern exploration. This one's got its own history as well, and you tell me that born on an anime kind of a platform that's woven into your DNA.
Yes, I'm 15 all over again. Kenshin, the TV series, or what was referred to in the West as Samurai X, was again set historically. This is, however, in Japan at the point of the Meiji Restoration after the Tokugawa shogunate. I'm not going to get super nerdy with you about Japanese history, but the dude who you're looking at there, Rurouni Kenshin, used to be this intense, like, assassin for the Shinsengumi, which is like an elite band of samurai who were trying to bring about this new age in Japan. He has this super violent past that he'd rather forget. So, in a way, tricks this village that he's in now, where he goes to atone and just help those in need with his reverse blade
balance
katana.
Trying
to figure out his karmic position in life because he's done such horrible things. But the past catches up with him. Don't worry, no one died there because the guy's got what they refer to as a sakabato, which is a reverse blade katana. The blunt edge on the outside and the dangerous edge on the inside.
Still hurts a lot. It still hurts a lot, man.
But no, seriously, this was one of the best animes. You can keep your Naruto. I'm like, nah, you can keep your DBZ. Those are great, whatever. I'm not knocking them. But Kenshin was, it was like the first time I was tricked, along with my high school friends, we were just teenage boys, into watching what ended up being a really moving, like, romantic soapy.
It was a love story, man.
But it was action-packed as well. And so this is the 4th live action of this one.
Does it look like this is a big thing for me for fight movies when they're using the wires? Do they get the transferal of energy and movement right?
It actually does look like it, and especially with the specific techniques, which I'm not going to name because I could, which is very embarrassing. But usually it's just like focusing on let's get the pretty face or the musician, the pop star, the J-pop star, whatever. But they look like they put in the work for it, and hopefully does justice then to the anime, which this director had previously directed the previous 4 other Kenshin movies of, so you can trust it in his hands. Anime fans going to be super excited about this. Probably when we get a Japanese film festival, who knows?
I told you, exciting, man. I'm so excited. My little heart is beating.
Robot.
Love it, man. Movies certainly add a touch of magic to our lives, but a nostalgic dish, that's a different kind of magic, and I think I need to calm down and I need to fill my belly right now.
Bump. Socially safe bump.
Yeah.
Made with love for 170 years.
Time for a bit of magic in the kitchen, and nothing spells magic like Baker's. I mean, it's the original of magic, right?
That is where all family memories stems from.
All family memories, all family magic as we gather around for all those momentous occasions. And today we're starting to celebrate their very big momentous occasion, 170 years. There are very few things in life as nostalgic as a family recipe. And, you know, those memories that we're talking about that go along with it, Baker's, we know that they've been the people at the forefront of it, embodying that magic and love around entertaining and meal times. And it's a legacy that's been a part of our homes and our hearts for 170 years, making it the oldest consumer brand in South Africa. I mean, think about it, whether it's tea and biscuits with your gogo, wumma, or family's favorite trifle, we've all experienced that Baker's magic.
That's right. So in celebration of this iconic household staple and their momentous 170th birthday, we're celebrating by bringing you a dish that is so near and dear to my heart. It is a fusion of 2 of Mzansi's favorite. I'm talking about the humble cheesecake and the classic peppermint tart. This is my peppermint tart cheesecake. We are combining the 2, because why must you just choose one?
Yeah, why must you just choose one when clearly Zoe Brown is able and ready to make 2 for us? I'm very excited. You didn't have to say much. You just said cake, and I was like, wait, I'm here.
Okay, but can I just tell you how special this recipe is?
Yeah.
So when it comes to the peppermint crisp tart, that is something my godmom taught me. Auntie Eileen showed me how to make our family's ijskastert, our peppermint tart.
Yeah.
And then she showed me how to, the secret is to use the 10 tennis biscuits. Of course, we're using our baker's tennis biscuits. And
They're
she
a
showed me the
classic.
little trick on how to like layer them and just to soften the base a bit. But because we're combining the two, I'm going to put
Okay.
you to work right
All
now.
right.
So we've got our baker's tennis biscuits already
here.
crushed up.
Yes.
About 100 grams of butter. So I need you to mix the two together. And it's going to make a little bit of a paste
Cool.
so that we can add that to our base.
Great.
There we go. So
Cool.
you can mix that with our spatula or a spoon. And then you're going to just scoop it into our tin that's already been sprayed.
Great.
And then I'm going to start with the cheesecake aspect of it. So I've got my cream cheese already softened. Half of the icing sugar is already added, and now I'm adding the rest. And I'm going to fold this in because I also want to fold in my cream that's going to be added to our recipe.
Great. It's so nice and creamy sounding already.
I know.
Oh,
and you know
yes.
what's so nice about these recipes? It's two of my favorite, and I now get to combine it into
Together,
one and
right?
pass it on to my family one day.
I love that, and I love the story that you tell around this coming from your auntie/godmother, because that's the whole thing about it. You want to be drawing from those memories, those special times, right?
Yes, and I mean, it's been in our family for years, since I was a little child. I mean, we spend a lot of time together as a
Yeah.
family, whether it's on holidays, whether it's with, you know, with my mom. So as you can see, there are some pictures of me in my young days. I think I was about 4 years old there. My mom always dressed me with bows in my head.
I see this. I was going to say, this was a very consistent thing about you. I mean, I
I'm very
remember.
Bridgerton in terms of my fashion sense. But yeah, I was
Absolutely.
always snacking, and I've always had a sweet tooth. I think out of all the cousins, as you
Yeah.
can see on the picture there, I was the one that constantly ate all the sweet stuff. If anyone's sweets went missing, they blamed me for it.
Oh,
I was
but
also the chubbiest
such
out
a
of all of them, so it was
cutie.
quite obvious
You
I
were the
ate it.
cutie.
There we go. So you are doing the base. What I want you to do is to flatten it, and a nice little
Okay.
secret is
Nice.
once you've sprayed the crumb all over,
Yeah.
you can actually use that glass to press it down. That just
Oh.
gives you a bigger surface area to really
To
get it...
work with.
Yes, to get
Okay.
it nice and flat and compact as possible.
Great.
So while you push that down, I'm going to add some vanilla essence as well as some peppermint extract.
Great.
Now, you don't have to add the peppermint extract. It's like there's like a little bit of a additional. It's at your own choice.
Okay, so if you like that, you can throw that in. Great.
There we go. And then just to make it a little bit fun, I've got some green food coloring. If you really want to just play around and make
Add a
it a
pop
little
of
bit.
colour
Just a pop of
also,
color.
right?
Normally I wouldn't, but I feel like for TV we should.
Yes.
So we're just going to
Because
add a
if
little
you can
drop.
make it pretty, why on earth not?
Yes, I was warned to do it very
Slowly.
gently, otherwise I'm going to end up with a lime green cake.
That looks
There
so
we go.
good already. Just like that fusion of that cream
There we
coming
go.
together with the color is beautiful. And of course, Baker's Tasty Creations and Recipes, we see them all over the place. We're using 3 of our favorites today that Zoe and I both love. The tennis biscuits, originals, the choc kits, as well as Better Snack Choc 2. They are divine.
They are divine, absolutely
love
divine.
them.
So now, Tabsy, your next job is
Okay.
to use that little brush and just
Yeah.
brush a bit of caramel onto
Great.
the base.
I'm coming
Because
now.
What we would
I'm
do
coming
is...
now. You carry on. What would we
Okay,
do?
what are you-
I'm going to grab something now. I just
Okay.
need to be ready for this.
Okay, cool. And then what I'm going to do now is I've got my cheesecake mixture here. I'm going to fold in my cream. There we go. And just do it gradually. I don't want to add too much. Well, okay, I'm going to add all of it at once, but I don't want to add mix it too much.
I like to clean as I go along.
Okay, that's good to know.
So
So I want to
just
whip out
mix
all
all
the
this
air
together.
we've already put into the cream.
Yeah.
There we go. So you can just add a little bit of caramel to the base that you've done perfectly.
Flatten it.
There we go.
Spread it or what?
Just spread it.
Okay, cool.
There we go. And this recipe is available for you. You can find it on expressoshow.com.
Oh, all
you
that
coping there?
goodness, all that goodness, man.
Just a little spread.
Sure, it's really nice.
Thanks, Tabsy.
Just gonna use our brush here.
There we go.
Don't look here,
it
please.
sticking?
It's cute.
At least we've
It's
got our
part of it.
caramel.
It's part of it.
Okay, but then we will add our cheesecake mixture to that. And because it's a no-bake cheesecake, you can just set it into the fridge for 4 hours.
Okay.
This is something I would recommend making the night before if you're doing a family lunch the next day.
Okay, so you
or
want it to
early in the
set.
morning if it's going to be for a later party. So
Great.
we'll add that
So
there,
that's
but
gonna go
then,
in.
of course, we'll pop that into the fridge, but we do have a finished cheesecake
Got
here.
that. Look at that.
Which is the perfect combination of a peppermint tart
Wow.
cheesecake. There you go. And you simply decorate it with your bakers. I mean, we've got our choc kits, we've got the beta snacks. That's all crumbed up. In fact, I'm going to crumb some up for us. And you can really just play around with it. As you can see, the chunkier, the better it is. This was just one, but of course, play around with it, and then the beta ones as well.
It looks stunning. Well, listen, there have been quite a few steps involved in bringing all of this magic together. And just in case you missed any of the steps involved, it's pretty simple, yes, because the magic's already been done, the biscuits are ready. But watch this quick recap. That looks beautiful, just to seal the deal.
Made with love for 170 years.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's exciting. It's enticing. It's the latest movie trailers. JP Sebastian is back with us now. Yes, we covered some big action, some amazing action stories, a lot of history that side. Now we're going into the smaller artwork that can be found in film to entice us.
Yes.
With some cinematic
I treat
magic.
you like your magical assistant.
I know,
Now, JP
because
will reveal
you
behind curtain one.
But you do, you inspire me. I mean, we've sat here locked in conversation for the last 20 minutes
Mostly
here.
talking about kung fu.
Which is awesome,
Which
okay?
is.
But now we're going to talk about a deeper calling within the movie kind of framework. What we need to do.
Yeah. What's the purpose?
Yeah, what is the purpose of telling these stories? And these look like beautiful stories. Limbo just looks funny and off kilter, like, yeah, it looks quirky just by looking at the poster. So what's going on there?
So these are both the next two movies I'm going to tell you about refugee stories.
Okay.
And so set in present day. Interestingly that you go, okay, which is a great sort of like sentiment that people want to have, but it is humorous as well. Like, you know, we seem to think, oh, everything must sort of be funerary around the subject, except this reminds me a lot, for very obvious reasons, you'll see, of like a Wes Anderson film. Wes Anderson did Grand Budapest Hotel, etc., etc. So you can see the symmetrical sort of like banal scenes of people who are totally stoic and like emotionless and quirky, silly things like a dolphin over there in the background, all the while. So what this dude is he's a Syrian refugee, carries around an oud, which is a traditional instrument, sort of like a guitar. It's his grandfather's, and he's stuck on one of the Hebrides, which is it's a fictional Scottish island that they're all waiting on these refugees to find out if their asylum works out or not to go into England. And all the while he deals with quirky characters, like the one dude with the moustache who's like, you know what, you're a musician, I'm going to be your agent, even though they've got nothing to do. It's just a waiting game. They're just.
And Northerners are funny, man. I'm sorry. I mean, I've been embraced by a Northerner family. I know what it's like in that part of the world. And
a bit screwball as well. Like, and understand, like knowing.
Yeah, for sure.
So what you're looking at there is they're in these classes, and what's interesting, firstly, is one of the Nigerian refugees laughs at his brother because he says, oh, he's here to play for Chelsea. So they have the arguments about that, including arguments about whether Ross and Rachel are going to get back together again. This is the kind of bored stuff that refugees have to deal with. But apparently, heartbreaking at times. Tears you to pieces and then builds you back up again, because what you're looking at here is, and generally these are movies made for people in our class, bourgeois. It's not necessarily for refugees to recognize themselves in, but like how do we tell the story of other people, whether to ourselves and for people themselves? Does it all have to be dread? Does there have to be some sort of glimmer of hope? We don't know. We're still trying to figure this out. But
because it's playing out as we speak.
Yeah,
and that makes it so powerful.
Is this entertainment? Etc. Etc. So these are all very interesting questions to kind of ask, and Limbo will probably answer some of them. Actually, was nominated for 2 BAFTAs this weekend.
Oh,
so
brilliant!
Really critically acclaimed.
It looks like beautiful small performances as well. I get it, and I love it, and I'm looking forward to that. Now, you talk about how far we're willing to go. Are we willing to go as far as actually selling our skin? Talk me through the man who sold his skin.
So very perceptive. I'm sure you figured out what the story's about already. This one is nominated for Best Foreign Film at the Oscars this year, and it is Tunisia's Offering. So it's one of the 5. It made it in. Good for them. And the man who sold his skin is about a Syrian refugee who is in his own state of limbo in Lebanon. What you're looking at there, however, is a guy who's sort of like this fictional Banksy-type artist. Anything he touches turns to gold, and it's always edgy and raw.
And he's breaking boundaries.
Social constructs and social commentaries, and I don't know why I'm doing Kung Fu while I describe this. South Africa couldn't see that, good for you. Nevertheless, he's a tattoo artist who puts on this guy's back a Schengen visa duplicate. This refugee. And the agreement is you become my artwork, and I display you, and in fact, put you on sale. This is based on a true story in a way, at least the concept. There was an artist from Belgium called Wim de Voil who tattooed himself and then sold himself to a German art purchaser, and now is contractually obliged to sit topless wherever this German owner likes him to sit for a certain period of time per year. So this is where this guy finds himself, as you can see there at one point, just sitting in a foyer and being gawked at. So this is the question. Who are these sort of refugee stories being made for? And here the movie's asking a meta question, even about movies. How do we treat the refugee crisis in a filmic sense?
As subject matter, yeah.
So it sort of steps back from itself. Like, are we almost just stroking our own egos by saying, ooh, I shared the photo of a kid who was washed up on a beach? And at the same time, are we actually combating the forces of evil, of fascism, of imperial forces that force people to try and leave their homelands to find some desperate
the lives of themselves and their children to be able to
I'm sure it's going to be pretty on the nose, but maybe you have to be as obvious as people are literally trying to sell themselves to be recognized as human for the first time in their lives. So, Oscar contender, maybe, who knows?
Maybe, and just think about that. Think about what motivates a person to put themselves through the most treacherous of physical and emotional journeys because of the situation that they're trying to escape. And if we can get that across in a film, in a powerful way, more of that, please. These look beautiful. You've taken me on a roller coaster today. There's been kung fu, there's been emotions, there's been small, intense moments. That's the movie, man.
Let's have a touchy-feely moment.
That's
a gentle, socially distanced hand grab.
Man. Love you, JP, man.
Thank you so much for that chat, boys. Of course, we've got a few tricks up our sleeves this morning, and they're all coming from some of the amazingly talented young performers from Zip Zap Circus. We have Jason, we have Jacobus, and Matthew are about to take the Expresso stage to perform some hand-to-hand acrobatics and unicycle stunts. But before they get onto the stage, Matthew, you're 18 years old, and you do this. Tell me how this all started for you, because for me, this looks like a party trick. Like, I'm 18, I'm at a party, I want to look cool in front of the girls, and I'm just going to take out my unicycle and look cool. Probably not how it happened.
It's more than just a party trick. I've been doing this for about 9 years, so yeah, and it's just a part of me now. I love it so much.
And obviously, it comes with a lot of things that you've been taught through the circus and to the community. What is some of the things that you've learnt being part of the Zip Zap Circus?
No, I learned how to work as a team. It's not just about yourself, it's about unity. Also, I've learned multiple juggling tricks and trampoline, acrobatics. And yeah, it's all about teamwork, basically.
And of course, that's exactly what we're going to get into. You and the team is here to blow us away. I'm going to take the microphone and get you ready. Get on to not a party trick, everybody. It's actually a real performance. Zip Zap Circus, take it away.
End of song.
And
But it was.
Oh. Oh my goodness, my whole body hurts just looking at you, kid. That is crazy. You are now my 4-year-old son's hero. Matthew, you're an amazing dude. The skipping rope was just a little bit crazy. Slow down, kid. Slow down, kid. Now, Jack, my boy, would love you, dude. You have no idea. You've got talent. That was amazing. You can see the Zip Zap Circus performing in the Cape Town City Centre today. For free. Go and check them out, buddy. That was amazing. Give me some elbow.
Sure,
Give me some
yeah,
elbow.
yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Welcome back. The temperatures are dropping, and yes, dun dun dun, flu season has arrived, with annual influenza epidemics estimated to cause between 3 and 5 million cases of severe illness, leading to hospitalization. This time of year can be quite daunting. Put that in perspective, which is why ensuring that you and your family get your annual flu shot is vital.
Now, MediRite senior pharmacist Lisa Giltra is here to discuss the importance of flu vaccines, and myself, Angie,
I'm going to do it as well.
I think ours this morning.
You took a deep breath there.
I did.
Hey, are you a little bit nervous, Lisa?
Now I am.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Please don't be nervous. I can see you're a little nervous, but please don't be. I've been doing this for 20 years and I haven't felt it once.
Lisa, we didn't even greet each other. You're standing with a needle right in front of me. So a great way to say hello to me this morning.
I'm waiting for you.
First off the bat, who is this safe for? Is it safe for everyone?
It is safe. Well, yes, it's even safe for pregnant ladies.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. And then the child has passive immunity up until 6 months.
Oh.
There are certain people that it's not safe for. If you have an allergy to egg, if you have a sensitivity reaction or a hypersensitivity reaction previously to the vaccine, then I would not recommend it. That's why we had to look at those consent forms.
Okay. I'm just worried about the after effects. Will I be able to go and train after? Is there any side effects that I should be worried about if I get the vaccine right now?
As far as side effects are concerned, they're very rare. The common ones are generally kind of malaise, muscle aches, headache, sight tenderness, that sort of thing. I wouldn't go rushing off to exercise tonight, and I wouldn't do the dishes.
So it's like, don't do the dishes.
And everyone, I'm not doing anything.
Absolutely. I would even stay out the kitchen entirely.
Okay. Then I'm definitely getting my vaccine.
I'll see you
Thank
after.
you. I'll be doing it. No, we only have time to do just Jamie for now,
Yes.
so this very brave girl is going to do it. How often should you be getting vaccinated?
Absolutely. Every year you should do it because the strains change. Can I just get this needle into your arm and we can meet after if you don't mind? Because I'm standing here and this lady is sweating.
Yeah, I was trying to draw it out for as long as
I know you do the gym thing, Jamie, but I need you to relax this big muscle of yours, okay?
Wow,
so relax this nicely
so
for me.
chill.
Relax your arm.
You're in a
There
beautiful
we go.
forest.
Okay.
The sunlight
You're
is
right there.
drifting through the trees.
And we're done.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
There we go.
Keep in mind.
And it didn't hurt you at all.
It didn't hurt me again. Absolutely.
Wow.
I've got a record.
Lisa, I trust you now. 20 years, I didn't feel a thing.
I'm so happy about that. Now I'll take a seat and chat to you guys.
Okay,
How's
please do.
that?
That's great. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
How often?
Every year? Every year. So what happens is your strains change from year to year, and the World Health Organization evaluates which strains are going to be prevalent for the flu season, and then obviously they make the vaccine accordingly.
Should I be doing anything now? Should I be touching it?
Not at all.
Nursing anything?
Just leave it alone.
Just leave it alone. Like
Just
it
leave it alone.
didn't even happen.
Let it do what it does.
Absolutely.
What do we need to be aware of in light of COVID? Because lest we forget, we are in the midst of a different vaccine drive at the moment. Can you have both vaccines?
100%. It's definitely advised. We recommend, or the experts recommend, a 2-week gap between the two vaccines. So your schedule, so you have your flu vaccine first, 2 weeks later your COVID vaccine, or vice versa if you're lucky enough to get your COVID vaccine soon.
And you've mentioned side effects are rather limited to kind of basic flu-like, and that's basically your immune system kicking in.
Pretty much it. So basically, while your body's building these antibodies, this vaccine is inactivated, which in plain layman's term is dead.
Yeah, so it's not giving you the flu, it's just it's letting your body know that it's time to wake up those antibodies.
100%. So the antibodies are like your little army, your little soldiers building their little army. So when they come across the actual flu vaccine or the actual flu virus, they're ready.
And you don't have to do the dishes that night. Just remember that.
That's a bonus, an absolute bonus.
Money, money, money. How much does it cost?
Well, available right now at our MediRite pharmacies, which are in selected ShopRite and Checkers stores. Very competitive. competitively priced at only 109 Rand and
Oh, really?
99 cents. 109.99.
Okay, that's nearly 40 Rand cheaper than what I was quoted yesterday at a different place. So I'm going to get mine for free today.
100. Yeah. Yours is the cheapest around.
My final question is, if we want to have it done just by you, because you look like you do it so well, where do we find you?
Well, what you can do is you can phone any of our MediRite stores. I won't necessarily be at all of them.
Come on,
but if you make a booking and it's in the area, I will make a plan to be there for you.
How are you feeling?
I think I got over the worst. It's just the shock that really took me, but I feel fine. I do have a bit of a headache, and I do feel
I would definitely hop on the can't do the
shame.
dishes, but the headache I'm not so sure about.
It's
too soon.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Hopefully this has made a lot of people out there feel at ease, which is the most important thing, and I think now is obviously the right time to get this
100%.
done.
I'd just like to encourage your viewers, your audience, please, guys, go and get yourself vaccinated, not just to protect you, but your loved ones too.
I love
And believe it or not, that wasn't bad at all. I was only kidding with you guys, but don't let influenza season creep up on you unguarded. Get down to your nearest MediRite pharmacy and make sure you get your shot, and you will be off the dishes for a while.
Excellent. Yeah, just one night.
Excuses. Anything to not do any work around the house, Jamie. Now I've got to cook for everyone. Luckily, I'm so good at it. I'm so good at making biryani. Right?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
Good, thank you. This is fantastic because it is also the season for all that comfort food, right? When the temperatures drop, you want a meal that makes you feel like it's giving you a nice, tight, warm hug when you eat it. And it's difficult to make a meal like that all the time, given our very busy schedules. It can be very difficult to sort of step back, unwind, relax, make yourself a nice, warm meal, perfect for the season. But we've got you. We've got a recipe that's going to help you do just that in a matter of a few minutes. And it's going to taste so good, it's not going to be any leftovers. There are going to be no leftovers. Ilham, am I right?
Yes.
Correct. What are we doing?
Okay, so we're making an easy homemade biryani.
Okay.
So we've got all the flavor and all the brilliance of a biryani dish.
Oh, wow.
But without all the fuss.
The fuss and the hours
and
that
the
it
layering
takes.
and all of those things, but all of the flavor of biryani.
I love that. Okay, before we do this, let's get this out the way, because I know in South Africa we've got our very own unique variations of how to pronounce it.
Oh gosh, yes. People people take their...
What have you heard?
Okay, so there's biryani. Biryani, so B-R-E. And then there's also biryani.
Biryani.
Which is B-I-R.
Okay, so today we're making a...
Biryani.
Biryani. Get it right, get it right. Okay, let's get going with our biryani.
You know, depending on where you're from in South Africa, whether you're from Cape Town or Durban or Joburg, everyone's got their own way of making this dish.
It sounds like it.
So I've already got my mince that I've just been browning.
Stuns.
And to this mince, I'm going to add my garlic and my ginger.
Wonderful.
And then I'm also going to add my some curry powder.
I already love that you've got the garlic and the ginger in there, because if we're talking flu and trying to prevent all of that and staying healthy and boosting our immune system during this time, you want to get that sort of thing in, right?
Yes, it's so good for you. Turmeric is also really good for you, and you've got turmeric on that side.
I've got the turmeric here, yes. Yes, I do.
And I'm going in with some garam masala, and then I've also got some saffron and some curry leaves. Okay, so I'm just going to let those spices just cook for a few minutes.
And as they all mix together and marry, you can already start smelling it.
You know,
the house smells like a home.
When you're adding spices to any sort of curry dish or rice dish, it's always good to let the spices cook just before you add any other liquid.
Let them have a bit of a party in the pot.
So that you can have a party in your mouth.
Exactly what I always say.
And then what we've got is some pre-soaked basmati rice. So the reason why we pre-soak our basmati, because it's a long grain rice, it actually allows the rice to actually get really long.
Oh, yeah?
So if you have something like a jasmine rice or a short grain rice, you wouldn't soak it.
So that's basmati rice. There's also basmati rice.
Yeah. Well,
two different things.
Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, the School of Curry needs a whole university.
So we're going in with our pre-soaked rice.
Nice.
And then, now comes all the delicious bits. We've got chicken stock. And then we've got some coconut milk.
Beautiful. The creaminess.
very creamy. And we've got some sultanas here. We're just going to throw in.
I love them.
And then we're just going to add some milk.
Okay, great. So while you're doing that, I need something to do. I'm seeing some ingredients in front of me here. What exactly am I making here and how do I do it?
Okay, so you are making the vegetables that are going to go on top of our rice.
Got some onions.
So you've got some red onion that's chopped. Throw everything in the roasting tray.
Go.
Some mushrooms and cauliflower.
Going in there.
And then we've got quite a few spices. So all of those spices you're just going to mix in with your veggies and some oil to drizzle over. And while the biryani is cooking, because this actually takes it's going to take about 45 minutes in the oven at 180 degrees. So with the
gel together nicely,
yeah, so cover that with foil, and then while this is baking in the oven, that you can roast as well.
Fantastic.
Separately.
So you can use any spices, right? Any spices that you like?
You can, and you can also use any vegetables that you like. So if you've got any vegetables at home that are just kind of sitting in the fridge and, you know, not getting used, you know, throw them in, the more the merrier.
Yes, I like the idea of spreading your spices nicely. So you want to take your time with them a little bit.
Yes.
Is that correct? Is that the correct approach, or is that just my own silly approach?
No, it's a good approach.
Take your time,
and then sprinkle all that turmeric over, and then we can coat those veggies with some olive oil.
Beautiful. Okay,
and then
cool.
roast for about 30 minutes.
You want the milk all around and over this bed of
so
vegetables?
just mix everything so it's nice and coated, and everything is evenly coated so that it can roast. And then also remember, you can make this dish with what you have. So if you don't have something like beef mince, you can use maybe lamb mince or chicken mince. Or even a plant-based mince. You know, if you're vegetarian or vegan.
For plant-based diet people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can't be left out.
No, everybody wants a potty in their mouth. And vegans and plant-based people too.
So, you know, there's a lot of plant-based proteins that are out there now that you can actually use instead of an animal protein. And if you don't want to use any animal protein, or if you can't get your hands on an plant-based mince, you can use lentils.
Yeah, and that's exactly the thing that I love about you, your ability to come in here and really just like tell us about all these different variations of the same meal that we can do. So it's always so varied and so different. You inspire me so much when you step in the kitchen. I love you for that. Thank you.
I love you too, Tim.
Oh, it's going to be so delicious. Listen, if you want the recipe, go on our website, expressoshow.com. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. Wow. That is magic. In a dish, you want to just devour it. And with that said, it's the perfect tone set to say Happy Ramadan.
Oh, thank you, Tim.
And to everybody in South Africa who commemorates that. I love that. While you commemorate Ramadan, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you can have a taste.
Ooh.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. You're still opening up with S3 here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Wednesday. Why are you pointing at me, G?
Because she can't train today because she had the flu vaccine.
It's okay. I just wanted to tell my
but
trainer
she's
that
she's not doing the dishes. She doesn't have to train. She doesn't have to do anything. In fact, she needs to be weighted on hand and foot. She needs to be bought biryani, okay?
Come bring biryani.
Oh, come on.
Feed me.
No, she will get her own. I'm so glad that she did have her flu vaccine, as you should as well. But we're entering into the second final, rather, hour of the show. So let's get those news headlines down.
Thank you, team. Here's a quick look at your national headlines. The industry organization Wines of South Africa says wine exports are showing signs of improvement despite restrictions due to COVID-19 pandemic. From March to October last year, the industry lost an estimated 3.7 billion rand in tourism revenue due to the restrictions. However, a spokesperson for Wines of SA, Marina Callow, says the industry is slowly getting back on its feet. She said exports were still low in January and February, but improved considerably in March and currently looks very good. And staying with local news, the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies has published its draft national data and cloud policy for public comment, outlining the government's plan to move towards online systems. Included in the policy is the proposal to create an online identity for South Africans, as well as increase public-private data sharing as a means of improving service delivery and uplifting people. The Department of Home Affairs earlier said that it was working on a new biometric system that would form part of the government's new digitally focused identity management policy. And moving to news abroad, the UN Food Agency says almost 1 million people are on the brink of starvation in northern Mozambique, where hundreds of thousands of people have been forced to flee an insurgency. A briefing in Geneva was told that more than 950,000 people in the north of Mozambique are presently facing severe hunger. Militants have escalated attacks in Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province, murdering villagers and seizing towns. The SADC Troika on politics, defense and security recently resolved to provide technical assistance to Mozambique to aid its fight against the insurgency. And U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken yesterday pledged America's full support to Ukraine in its conflict with Russia. This as NATO called on Moscow to halt large troop buildups on Ukraine's border. Blinken, returning to Brussels just weeks after his maiden trip to Europe as U.S. President Joe Biden's top diplomat, said, and I quote, "The U.S. stands firmly behind the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine." Blinken said Moscow was massing forces in its biggest buildup since 2014, when conflict flared between Ukraine and Russia, and Moscow annexed the Crimea from Ukraine. And next, a happy first for local travel in South Africa. New airline Lyft has come up with a first for local travel in South Africa. The airline realizes that your four-legged friend is very much part of the family and has introduced dog-friendly flights that allow pups in the cabin with you. To the immense joy of many dog lovers, the new local airline has created a unique offering for travelers to fly on board selected flights with their small dogs in a pet-friendly carry bag placed under the seat in front of them. For those that aren't pet fanatics or have allergies, not to worry. Only a limited number of pets are allowed to travel on selected flights, and a rigorous cleaning schedule is conducted in between flights. The new service is only for small dogs. They aren't able to accommodate big dogs at present, but they've learned that they're looking at other options right now. Meanwhile, it's exciting for many to have their little paws with them when jetting around the country. Well, on that happy note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's a final look at your sport.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Football in firm focus this morning, and they are going from strength to strength. Banyana recorded a 2-0 win over our neighbours Botswana in their international friendly match playing out at the Wits University Stadium in Johannesburg yesterday. South Africa have now made it 2 wins in 2 matches, thanks to goals by Thembi Kgatlana and Gabriela Salgado. And this was Banyana's second match in just 3 days. On Saturday, they came from behind to defeat Zambia 3-1 at the same venue. Then staying with the beautiful game, reinforcing how important carrying that first leg aggregate advantage into the second, Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea have advanced to the UEFA Champions League semi-finals. Despite suffering a 1-0 defeat to Porto in the last 8 second leg match, Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea, they sealed their place in the Champions League semis, where they will face either Liverpool or Real Madrid. Champions League holders Bayern Munich, they were knocked out of the competition despite a 1-0 win over PSG last night. That means PSG have advanced on away goals and will face either Manchester Manchester City or Borussia Dortmund in that last four. And of course, it will be decided tonight. Liverpool and Real Madrid go head-to-head, and Man City take on Dortmund for a spot in the semi-finals from 9 p.m. And then only one cricket encounter to look into from yesterday. Defending champions Mumbai Indians, they secured their first win of the brand new Indian Premier League season by beating the Kolkata Knight Riders by 10 runs in a thriller in Chennai. The 2020 champions were dismissed for a below-par 152 in their innings, with Andre Russell picking up an incredible 5 wickets for just 15 runs. But in a dramatic finish, KKR, led by Owen Morgan, needed 15 off the last over, certainly the man to do it, but only managed just 4 runs to finish on 142 for 7. Now, there'll be one IPL fixture again today as the Sunrisers Hyderabad face the Royal Challengers Bangalore, that one at 4 p.m. That's a wrap of your sport for this Wednesday morning. Let's go one last look at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures.
Thank you, Graham, and thank you to all of you that have taken the time to share your sunrise views with us this morning. We started off with Andrew Harris from Belito, who shared this absolutely gorgeous golden and burnt orange image with us as the sun rising through the trees in the distance. We also then head to Ograbis in the Northern Cape, where Denzel Basson shared this view of the sky, transitioning from hues of yellow to blues as the skyline gets lighter. We also received this stunning image of the sun rising over the ocean from Denise Yates in Mtwalume on the south coast. And lastly, one of our regulars, Nick Lombard from Hantum in the Northern Cape, shared this luminous photo with us. Now, if you would like to see your photo featured during one of our sunrise segments, all you have to do is head on over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your photo with us. If your sunrise snaps are prize winners, you could win yourself one of those oh so chic Nespresso travel mugs each week for 5 weeks. And remember to post your picture to the competition post on the Expresso Facebook page with the hashtag Nespresso Sunrise. And while we love seeing the way our local viewers start their day, we also say good morning and acknowledge our growing international audience on YouTube and the Africa channel. Our last international city update for this morning is for our viewers that are tuned in from Montpellier, the capital city of Vermont. Now, Montpellier is brimming with historic appeal and quirky attractions. The Winooski River flows through the heart of the city, adding to the character of its charming downtown, quaint shops, walking trails, and cultural amenities. Winters are known to be long, cold, and snowy, with short-lived springs and autumns and warm, humid summers. Today will be a mild day with times of sun and clouds reaching a maximum of 18 degrees Celsius. Some quick international news. The United Kingdom this week took a huge step towards normality as pubs and restaurants opened their outdoor dining areas, with shops, hairdressers and gyms also opening up. The reopening, however, coincided with atrocious weather, but nothing was going to get between thirsty Brits and a pint or a meal after 4 months of lockdown, not even driving rain or snow flurries. The cold snap that swept across the Isles this week has been very much out of the ordinary. The Met officers said unusually chilly air from the Arctic was streaming towards the UK, which would see temperatures plummet to -8 degrees Celsius in some areas. This just a few weeks out from summer. Flurries of snow were experienced across the southeast of England in counties including Berkshire, Kent, as well as London. Nonetheless, Brits happily munched on alfresco kebabs as the white fluff and stuff fell all around them and took their umbrellas to beer gardens to enjoy a pint. Well, that's where we leave your international news. Let's quickly look at your temperatures here in South Africa. Polokwane, your low for today is 14, your high 30. Mbombela, expect a low of 13 and a high of 33. Pretoria, 17, 29. Johannesburg 15.28. Mahikeng 13.31. Sunny in Klerksdorp with a high of 31. Kimberley 13.32. Bloemfontein 9 reaching a high of 31. It's sunny in Richards Bay 21 reaching a high of 33. Pietermaritzburg 15 reaching a high of 33. Durban 21.30. Partly cloudy in Mthatha today with a high of 31. East London 17.26. Cradock 12 reaching a high high of 34. Gqeberha 16 with a high of 24. George 14 reaching a high of 24. Cape Town 17, 24. Partly cloudy in Worcester today with a high of 35. Sutherland 11, 28. And Uppington, your low for today is 17 and your high 36 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
And hopefully it's a beautiful day, because you're going to make it a beautiful day no matter what the temperatures are looking like in your part of the country. Now, here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning, we've got Jason, Jacobus and Matthew from the Zip Zap Circus. They're here with all of the magic, that gravity-defying hand-to-hand acrobatics, which you can expect to see in Moya. Of course, we saw that unicycle earlier on as well, a stunt, a big one, which I do only on Fridays. But it's time for us to see what they've got as they do some juggling. I'm always juggling something, right? I'm always juggling all sorts of things in life. Do you guys juggle balls at like speed and like the most incredible pace, and it's like acrobatic things and all of that? How long have you guys been doing this? Let's start with you, Jacobus.
Oh, me, I've been doing it now for 10 years, going for 11 years. Yes.
Wow. And do you do it every day? How often do you only do it when you go into the circus studio? How does it work?
Yes, it's every day.
Sure, okay. And then in terms of the makeup, because that's very interesting. I come here to work and I've got a girl called Bernice that does our makeup, and she does a good job, as you can see. But your makeup, do you do it yourself?
Oh, yeah.
And you love it?
Yeah. Yes.
And you love
Very
like
much.
you like enjoy obviously the expression that comes through with it.
Yeah, it brings out the
a different character.
Oh, yeah.
You feel like a different person altogether when you've got that on.
Definitely.
But Jason, I was watching you earlier playing with those balls, not a ball dropped. I mean, it's like watching magic.
Yeah, some people say it's magic, like, but it's not. It's not. It's just practice and hard work. It's like driving a car. Yeah.
I love your outfits, guys. I know that I'm gonna definitely jack your shirt a bit later on, and your stance as well, as they take to the Expresso stage. Give me your mics. Give me your mics. It's time to juggle some balls. It's the Zip Zap Circus with that ball juggling performance. Jacobus and of course Jason. Take it away. on, and that is how you give a show. I love that. I don't know how you guys do that. I mean, not a ball dropped, not once, even when you acted like you're about to drop it and I thought, oh, it's about to be disastrous. Nothing like that. Their pop-up performances are coming your way if you are in the city centre of Cape Town. Waterkant Street is going to be there, Talbot Centre at some point there as well. Loop and Long, I mean, there's 5 locations. It's going to be fantastic, and you're going to be enjoying a variety of free spots across the city from 9:30 this morning. And of course, we're bringing it all to you here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Let us know what you thought of it on Facebook. Coming up, we still have the culinary hotline bling. Sing, sing, sing. We're answering all of your kitchen conundrums. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you after this, some balls. Here we go.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Bling. Ting, ting, ting! Oh yes, we're joined by our favorite chef in the house, Chef Clem. And if you have any questions on all things in the kitchen that need some assistance, give us a call if you want to get out of those sticky situations that have got to do with food. 021 110 552. Chef Clem, whose birthday was yesterday, you've stepped into the 50s. How's it feeling?
What did you say? No, I did not step into my 50s. My goodness, but I missed you guys yesterday.
I missed you. Happy belated birthday, my friend.
Thank you so much. I also like how you bring me back the next day after my birthday to bake you a cake.
Cake? Well,
because
you didn't bring cake yesterday. We must make cake on the show this morning, right?
Okay.
How's that? But of course, we love welcoming our viewers in studio, Chef Clem, as you know, especially for the Culinary Hotline Bling. And so we've got Cecilia all the way from Mitchell's Plain this morning. A warm Expresso welcome to Auntie Cecilia. Come on. Oh. Gorgeous, gorgeous Auntie Cecilia. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's so good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Pleasure.
You love spending time in the kitchen. I mean, you love food as much as I do. But like all of us, you've also got, culinary conundrums. What is your question to Chef Clem that brought you here this morning?
Yeah. I've got a problem with hot milk sponge cake.
Oh.
I always feel that it's not the way it should. Don't come out the way it should.
Okay. How do you want it to come out?
I want it to come out nice, fluffy, light, and perfect.
Yes.
And perfect. And perfect.
Yeah.
Well, you got to the right man.
So, got this recipe. It's just nice and simple, but I've already kind of started with the most important part of a baking recipe. But I just remembered something. You need your apron.
Yes. This is the official... Welcome to the Expresso morning show.
I don't know what the tune is.
It isn't done until you've got this apron on. And now that you do have the apron on, Auntie Cecilia, you're officially in business.
You're in business. Okay. First things first is our butter and our sugar. We're creaming that together. Now, creaming doesn't mean you add cream to it. Creaming means you just beat the two together, whip the two together, until the butter starts changing color, goes nice and light, and becomes fluffy in texture. So I'm going to pass this on to you.
The texture is fluffy looking already,
yes.
you can tell.
I'm going to pass it on to you. If you can go ahead and you can keep on going. We're almost there.
Okay.
And also, that's why you need your apron, because this one sometimes, Okay, cool.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, I'm actually using milk that's room temperature. I'm not warming up my milk.
Okay.
Room temperature is perfectly fine for this. To that, I'm going to add vanilla extract. Also, recipes people use vanilla. I see they use like a teaspoon of vanilla.
Yeah.
You can be a little more generous with it. Like, go a tablespoon.
You want us to be able to smell and taste the vanilla. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the best part about baking.
Yeah.
When you're baking in your home and your family can smell it,
then they know.
I'm talking about family.
Yes.
Your granddaughter's here.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's a little shy, so maybe we can cut to Jordan. Let's see Jordan.
Is Jordan? Jordan
Hi,
is over there in the lounge. Hey, Hey, Jordan.
So Jordan's going to benefit from your labor of baking this cake.
So I imagine that you bake a lot for Jordan, correct?
Yes, we're all in the kitchen together.
Oh,
they love being in the kitchen with me.
I always say that's the best part of it. When you stay with your family and you all get involved in the kitchen, especially for baking, that's the most fun. It makes the experience so wholesome.
Yes, it's
absolutely. Okay, I'm going with some egg whites.
Okay.
You can keep on going. I'm going to add a little bit at a time. And this is going to aerate. It's going to give it some body, make it a little lighter. But it also does add to the final texture of your cake.
I imagine that some people might get it wrong. Is it difficult to get wrong if you haven't got this, what is this machine called?
Electric hand mixer.
Yeah, if you haven't got an electric hand mixer, how do you get that same fluff? You have to beat it manually with the thing that my mother used to beat me with.
Shame, Tabiso. Next week in Coloring Hotline, we'll be unpacking that situation with Tabiso about his relationship with the wooden spoon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I've seen that wooden spoon.
This one is all you need. And you just work that into the batter.
And, like, as long as you
But have you seen goggles? They got those guns.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they
manually.
use this. Yeah.
Who needs the gym?
It is. Who needs the gym? Okay, so now we're looking good.
Nice, sir.
I'm going to slowly start adding. Okay, I'm going to add baking powder and bicarb to my flour. And I'm going to slowly start adding that. Now, here's where we've got to be careful. We've got to work this in stages. So, I'm going to turn it down for you. There we go.
Okay, so you're getting that flour. What's in the flour? You've mixed it with something else.
Flour, baking powder, and bicarb. And that's going to give us that lift and that color that you want. Slowly get it in there. A little bit of our milk as well.
So when would you introduce the milk? Do you introduce the milk at this point when you, or do you only introduce it when you start seeing that it's getting a bit too hard to keep mixing?
You go flour, milk, flour.
Okay, so you're just like layering and building up constantly.
Okay, now I'm going to go in with a little more milk.
You look like you're having fun doing this, Cecilia. I mean, I can see it in your face. You're just, you know, in the moment, thoroughly luxuriating and taking it all in.
Yes, because things is happening here. Yes, some ingredients that I never added at home.
Yeah. So what are some of the ingredients that Clem has used here that you typically don't use?
The bicarb.
The bicarb.
Oh, the bicarb.
And it actually helps brown the cake. Actually, I'll give you that color on the outside as well.
Okay.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
What a simple hack, right? That trick is just that one thing that just elevates it and just changes the way that it looks completely.
Absolutely. Okay, that's perfect. We're winning. This is amazing. And honestly, if Zoe Brown was in the kitchen now, she would come for the whisks. She loves eating raw cake batter.
Like the grandchildren.
Like all grandchildren.
Yeah,
that is
they
so true.
grab
my job here today is to just make sure that your working space is nice and neat.
And you do that very well.
As possible. I just try as we go along. Okay, so that's going on in there. But of course, while we're doing that, you know, the next question one might ask is then, temperature, because that becomes very, very important. I think temperature control, Chef Clem.
Yeah. Let's talk about temperature even when we're making our batter. You want to make sure everything's kind of the same temperature.
Yes.
So you want to make sure your eggs are at room temperature, your butter's at room temperature, everything. So what happens when you do that, the batter actually comes together perfectly. It, instead of you fighting cold butter where you struggle to get it to mix in, everything's nicely equally temperatured, and it just comes together. Your batter comes together. Like this batter is so beautiful.
Beautiful, yes.
And
so,
would using hot milk, like Auntie Cecilia usually does, would that change the
room temperature? Room temperature milk is perfect.
It needs to be room temperature.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
I think sometimes my milk is a bit too hot.
Yes.
Yes. So now I know that
room
needs to be room temperature.
Room temperature is the way.
Nice.
Then it goes into the oven.
Fantastic.
The recipe is on the website. And I think I do this one at 180 for safety.
Fantastic, which is always a safe.
It is.
Safe temperature to go.
This will make 2 layers, but what I decided to do, instead of layering the 2, I decided that we're going to layer 1, put some delicious icing over the top, and then I want you to take 1 home. And just like, you know, enjoy it.
It's your birthday tomorrow.
It's your birthday?
Jordan?
Yes, tomorrow's your birthday.
Jordan was telling me that it's your birthday tomorrow on Thursday.
On Thursday,
which is fantastic. That's great. I'm very happy about that because now we've done a cake for your birthday. Stunning.
So what I've
Jordan, you're not allowed to eat this cake until tomorrow. I hope you can hear me.
She's laughing. Okay, she's
good.
The lies, the lies. Okay, what I've done, I've taken some caramel treat, some cream. Everything's nice and chilled.
Yes.
I've just whipped the 2 together.
Great.
It's gonna make like a nice little thick syrup to go over the top.
Yeah, listen to that.
Beautiful.
And you can make it thicker if you want, but I like the way it kind of like oozes over the sides.
Run over, yes. Beautiful.
Jordan, I will give you a slice of this.
There is nothing better than when it just like sort of drips
Okay, let's
on
make
the
it.
side
Let's
and
make
it
it
just
drip
goes
down the side.
I mean, it's like indulgent.
Let's get in there. Let's get in there. Let's get in there.
That.
It's a pre-birthday slice of cake for you.
Well, and a post-birthday
for me.
slice for you. Okay, well, this is my favorite moment of any moment in the kitchen, Cecilia, is when we get to taste the stuff we've just made.
Yes.
And we always get it nice and fresh, which is the best. Ooh, look at that.
Look at that small slice.
So cool.
That's tabi sauce. Okay. Okay, now, have you got any... Oh!
Is that mine too? Because it's...
This is also tabi sauce.
Yay!
Tabi sauce, that's yours now.
So we test.
I've got
Love
a little
it.
bamboo. I'm going to give you yours
it.
now, right now.
Oh, wow. I mean, just how fluffy and soft it is. It's like a sponge of magic. Honestly.
This for me.
Both pieces. You deserve it. There's a little fork there for you.
Oh, yeah. Slim?
Yes?
This is it, my man.
What a beautiful
This is it.
breakfast.
Hey!
I know. I mean, how many people can say that they have a cake freshly made for breakfast? Just like, right? It's a treat. It's a treat. It's a pre-birthday treat for you, Cecilia. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Happy belated birthday for yesterday. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
And that is
Thank you
how you
so
make
much.
it. I really love this, and I hope that it's inspired you to go baking out there. Question is, do you still have some kitchen challenges that you want to share with us, that you want help with? Some fails you've experienced, sometimes disastrous. 021 110 5552. Happy cake eating.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. We are loving the show this morning. Thank you so much to the team taking care of business in the kitchen. But of course, we are embracing the art of performance this morning. And we know that life, yes, it's a juggling act. So why not learn how to actually do it from some of the best in the business? We are back with Jason from Zip Zap Circus, who are masters of their craft. He's going to teach Jamie and I how to juggle.
We are doing the things today. We're getting
Oh, my
vaccinated. We are learning
We're
how
living
to juggle.
our best life. But the problem is, Jay, you make it look so easy.
It is easy.
No, don't say that. It's going to be difficult. Okay, I can see you've got you're ready to
sanitize.
spray. I'm going to just get on that train.
Go.
Okay, thank you. Oh, these are quite weighty.
Yeah.
Okay, these have got a bit of.
She said I can't do any gym or workout. So if I feel like this, it's because of the vaccine that I just.
Okay, for sure. No, it's all right.
So these are rubber. We get imported from Europe.
Okay.
So they're not made in South Africa, so they balance nice, specifically for bouncing.
They do feel good in the hand. I won't lie. Feels good, huh?
So we're going to start with one ball.
Okay.
Yeah? We're going to go straight to the floor.
Okay.
The other ball, you got a pocket.
Okay, put it in
your
your pocket.
So we're just going to start like this.
Okay.
Hands up.
All right.
And then just a small throw, let it bounce in the middle, and you catch. Yes, so we give it a lift. So we give it a little lift. Yes, that's
Okay.
it. Nice. You guys are pros already, yeah?
Look at that, man.
Can we join the circus now?
Yes. So let's get the second ball.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Wow.
Not
So soon. I thought we were going to.
No.
All right. Okay.
So
Thanks, Jay.
So this is how it works, right? So
Right.
it's the same pattern as the one ball, but you're gonna throw the ball. As it bounces, you throw the next one over it. So this is what it looks like.
Okay.
If you check. So throw, catch, catch.
Okay.
Throw, catch. Yes.
Did you do
Yes.
it? Oh, my word.
Oh, juggler. Yeah, you're a
Throw,
juggler.
catch.
catch.
Oh,
I'm putting this on my CV now.
Wow, okay.
A juggler.
Oh.
How are you doing? Let me
That's
see.
crazy, yeah.
The first ball you throw is the first ball you watch.
Okay. Okay. Throw, catch.
You see, you've done it. Yeah,
My brain
nice.
just went like. Okay, cool.
So
wow.
that's what it is. So and then it goes up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So 3 is exactly the same. So you see, we did 1, 2, catch.
Catch, okay.
Now it's just about continuation of that. So it's 1, 1, 1, 1.
You crazy.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm going to give you
So
another
that's
one.
what it is. 4.
Yeah. Can you do 4?
Yeah,
come
I
on,
can do
Jason.
4.
Come on.
So the 4 is a different pattern. They don't cross. Yeah, they stay on top of each other. Only the odd numbers cross. You see, so they will be 2 in one hand, you know? Yeah. But would you guys like to try 3?
No, we're going to give you another one.
Yeah, another one. Ooh. Okay, so it's an odd number, so they cross again, you see?
Get out of here. Just stop it.
Thank you.
Okay, another one.
6.
Another one.
Can you do 6?
I can try.
Oh,
I can do
feel like-
7.
No pressure.
I feel like
It's
sitting.
easier than 6, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
What is going on right now?
Can you get a close-up of my face as I look like a complete idiot? Can you throw one up in the air with one
Up in the
down?
air with 1 down, yeah. If you can hold 2 for me. So,
Oh. Oh. What? What?
Jason, you are next level, my friend.
Oh my word. Can I give you some chainsaws? Can you do it with chainsaws?
No.
That is amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
How long did it take you to master that?
So I've been at Zip Zap for about 7 or 8 years now. I joined them when I was 8 years old for a period, and then I left, and then at the age of 19 I came back. So I've been working bounce juggling, for about 6 or 7 years now again,
Wow. So 6 more years, we'll like that.
We'll get there. We'll get to the third ball. I love the sense of brother, because I've been lucky enough to encounter you guys many times over the years. We've seen each other. I've shared a stage with you on occasions. I just love the sense of family, this brotherhood. What does it mean to you to be a part of this family, man?
Like, to be a part of it, it's first of all, it's not your ordinary day job, you know.
Definitely not.
It's not the office work where you sit over there, I sit over here. We work hand in hand. We work closely with each other. We use our bodies to work. So that also helps with the trust. By working with each other like that, you get to know someone in a different way. You know, you get to know him at his worst point, and you get to know him at his highest point. You know,
vice versa, they get to know you.
Yeah, and it's just about working together and being able to help the person when the help is needed, or vice versa, like you said. That's what it's about.
It makes me think how hard this last year must have been for you guys in that space. So we appreciate the fact that you are out there. You can catch the Zip Zap Circus in Cape Town City Centre. We also have the details of their incredible film that you can now connect with and watch live from your home. We are gonna give her balls. We're gonna try. We're gonna try.
Wait, I want to do 4.
You want to do 4?
No, actually, let me not show.
The first ball.
So, throw, catch. Yes.
Catch. Nice.
That's
throw,
it.
throw, catch.
And heels, see?
Do it.
Wah. Hiya.
Well done, Jamie. That is definitely not easy. But it's time for us to connect with you on social media. This morning, we asked you in our Good Morning post, how's the little ones in your life handling the COVID pandemic? And we have some of your comments coming through. Taking a look, I have one from Shireen Abrams that says, good morning to the entire Expresso team. Happy Wednesday. My daughter handled it very well, as I was stressed about how she would cope, but have been super proud of her strength. Have an awesome day, team. Thanks for the show. That has helped a lot with keeping myself informed and entertained during this pandemic. Have an awesome day, team. Lots of love. Well, Shireen, thank you for that, and I'm happy to hear that your daughter managed to cope well during this difficult time. Another comment came through from Colleen that says, good morning, family. At first, it was hard for them to stay inside. I let my son watch the news with me so that he could understand what was happening outside. We had to learn about sanitizing, and I had to teach them to stop hugging with the sad face. Oh, well, listen, there is a few ways for you to de-stress. 1 is staying tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show, and 2 is going to the Zip Zap Circus.
Oh man, I love this. The guys from Zip Zap Circus have been wowing us this morning, and Jason and Jacobus are about to give us an example of that level of trust that has to exist in this kind of incredible physical performance. They're going to be doing some hand-to-hand street-style acrobatics that you can see in the streets of Cape Town this morning from 9:30, and an opportunity to see some of the best in the business do their thing. And in fact, they're going to do it right now. He's got a crazy smile on his face. I cannot wait to see it. Man, now do you get to throw him around a little bit, man? Oh, that is crazy. And we've got rigging and lights all over the place, and the fact that you were kind of watching that while you were throwing him around, and you smiling the whole time like you have no idea that you're about to smash the ramparts, that's amazing. How much fun, how cool does that feel, being able to do that, dude?
Oh, it feels like I'm actually Superman.
Oh man, you look like Superman. I can feel it. My heart is pumping. I've got the adrenaline flowing, and that's something that you can experience firsthand today. Go and check them out. They'll be in Cape Town City Centre doing that and a whole lot more. Well done. Another round of applause for these absolute legends. Sure.
Oral Medic alleviates mouth ulcer pain in seconds.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to another installment of the Culinary Hotline Thing. Ting, ting, ting. Yes, right here on S3, open up to some kitchen inspiration. We're joined by Chef Clem on our foodie panel to help you out with any of your culinary conundrums, all those challenges, all those questions you have for him. Give us a call, 021 110 5552. And we still are hanging out with a viewer, of course, Auntie Cecilia from Mitchell's Plain, who we've had fun making cake with. In fact, your granddaughter, Jordan, is enjoying the cake over there, despite me having said, "Oh, Jordan, no!" Love to see it. I love that. I hope you're having a good time.
I am.
You've taken some notes.
I'm in seventh heaven.
Oh my goodness.
I'm really in seventh heaven.
So are we. Thank you, thank you.
You have no idea how much it means to us being able to have you come here whenever we have viewers and guests coming through to join us here. It inspires us as well, and we love connecting with you. We love sharing the magic in the kitchen.
We do, we
Love
do.
that it's about-
Absolutely.
You can come back again anytime.
Anytime.
Thank you, because I picked up tips this morning.
Yes.
Love that, love that, love that.
That's the whole point. So now I see that there's a couple of goedekkies there on the counter. What's happening there?
Someone said they love all our pickles in the background, and they said they really want to make pickled beetroots. How do we do it? This is one of the easiest things to make ever. It's super quick. Can we just jump in straight into it?
Okay.
Okay, pot on the heat.
Okay.
Then I've got some beetroot. What I do is I normally just boil them in water first, then rub the skins off.
Yeah.
These have got their skin still on, but they're baby beetroot, so it's fine.
Yeah.
That goes into a pot. The thing about any pickle is the balance between the acid and the sugar.
Okay.
For our acid, we're using vinegar, white vinegar. And you can use brown
Is that
vinegar.
white vinegar? I thought it was water.
You know?
I thought, wow, that's a lot of water going in for a pickle. How's that going to work?
Let's give that a smell. No, man.
Any
Seriously.
closer, I'm going to collapse.
You will be fine. Okay, it's white vinegar, okay?
Wow, strong, asane.
Asane.
Is that the name for
Yes,
vinegar?
it is. I like it. Okay, then the sugar. You can use brown sugar, you can use honey.
Yeah.
White sugar for me is kind of the best just because it's not going to add flavor to it. You're just going to enhance the flavor of the beetroot going in.
Oh, okay. Bay leaves?
On everything, in everything,
Cecilia?
all the time.
This man's obsessed with bay leaves. I don't know if you are as... you also?
I love it, yes.
Do you have a plant there? Because he steals from his neighbors already.
I thought we're not going to talk about this.
I buy it from the shop.
Oh, thank you. You are a woman of honor. And maybe take notes
Maybe
from...
if I had a neighbor with a tree, I would have.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If any of our viewers out there have a bay tree that'd like to send us a big branch of bay leaves, please do, please do. We'll give you a shout
Be careful
out.
with that because just now we won't have storage space. You know, our viewers are
We
generous.
will hang out bay leaves from the ceiling. We love bay leaves. Okay.
Well, listen, we are still on standby for that call, so give us a call whenever you're ready on 021 110 552.
Peppercorns, onions go in, garlic goes in, a little bit of salt goes in, and then the chili goes in. Bring it to a simmer, let it cook through, beetroot soft, that's it. And it'll last for years.
I love for years.
I literally say this, you'll give it to your great-grandchild.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I knew it.
Telefono. Would you like to answer, Ross?
Good morning.
Morning.
Ah, good morning. Who are we speaking to? Welcome to the culinary hotline bling. Let's put you on speakerphone.
What's your question? Oh, first of all, who are we speaking to?
It's Kiara from the Free State.
Kiara from the Free State. What is your question this morning for Chef Clem?
I want to know how's the perfect way to crack an egg without getting eggshells in your flapjack mixture or any food you're making with eggs.
You asked that question not just for yourself, but I think for the entire nation.
For the nation.
You are a nation builder. You're a community builder. You are here to save lives and days. Thank you. What's the answer?
Okay,
please?
so here's the first thing. Whenever you're cracking eggs into a batter, like we made a cake earlier, we didn't use whole eggs, we used egg whites. But if you're cracking eggs into a cake, don't crack it directly into the bowl. What you do is you first put it into a separate bowl. Okay.
Sure.
I'm going to. Here's another thing, okay? Don't try to be fancy and do the one-handed egg crack thing.
Only chefs sometimes can.
And also then, don't. Okay, now here's the theory. If you crack your egg on a flat surface, you'll create a bit of a flatter indent, which will make it easier to break, and you won't break off any pieces of egg. I mean, it's happened where a piece of egg just goes in there. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it. Okay, flat surface. Okay. And again, what you are gonna do, how do you say
soft, like you must be soft.
egg tapping strength.
Okay, cool.
Okay? Perfect. Okay, let's try doing it with a sharper edge.
Like I do, yeah.
You use a spoon?
I usually
You can use the end of the counter, use a spoon, okay?
But it always gets messed up when I use a spoon. I don't know why.
So let's say maybe don't do this. Look, we're still winning. We're still winning.
I mean, look, there is one little...
That's not egg. That's not eggshell.
Yeah.
So should we try the one-handed egg thing?
Yes.
Okay.
You go.
We're just trying all the different methods now, so...
Oh,
okay.
wow. Okay,
but
so
now, let's do worst case scenario where a piece of egg actually shell falls in there.
So scenario where you have done it at home in the free state.
So now what do we do? First of all, put the spoon to the side. You're going to be fishing for that thing for days. Use the actual egg, and now you're going to get in there. And now, where are you?
I've actually just thought now, it could even be a saying, like an English saying.
Tell me.
Never use a spoon to scoop out an eggshell.
It'll sound more dramatic
So
in
maybe
Afrikaans.
like when there's like someone who's done something and you're trying to like help them out, and then you're trying to say to someone, oh, that one is a lost scope, you can't like help them out. Just say, oh, trust me, you never scoop out the eggshell using a spoon.
And Cecilia, what do you think about that? I don't know. Say it in
You're not buying
Afrikaans.
it.
Say it in Afrikaans.
Moenie die spoon
moet nooit
vat.
'n lepel vat.
Lepel.
'n lepel.
Met die eie.
Die eierdop uit die eier uithaal.
Does that answer your question, my dear? Are you satisfied?
She's so flabbergasted. She is just...
She's gone to the kitchen. She's actually just making eggs now. She's forgotten about the tips. She's doing the tips
She's
now.
doing it right
like
now.
Many, many eggs. Okay, great. That's fantastic. I'm glad we could save the day for the entire nation. And this is such good information.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
One last little Facebook question that we had, very, very quickly. So someone asked us, how do they prevent their cast iron or their heavy base pans from rusting? If they do have a little bit of rust in it, get yourself one of these.
Skierpot.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. There we go. Use this. Don't use soapy water. Just use this, a little bit of water, warm water, to get it off there. It will come off eventually, a little bit of elbow grease. Then, when it is off, what I always do is I always coat it in non-stick kitchen spray.
And leave it
or
like
oil.
that.
Before I use it or after I use it, this thing needs to have a little bit of a coating on it, and that's how you'll look after your cast iron.
And what about like if after it's been used for quite some time and now it's getting a bit rusty or dry, if I put like boiling water over and I leave it for like a couple of hours?
As long as you're going to get that water off as soon as possible and make sure it's dry. Water's your enemy. It'll turn it to rust.
Okay, so water actually isn't always the hero we like it to be when it comes to that. Thanks so much. You've been so helpful, Chef Clem. I mean, as always, you blow my mind. We're going to write a book, you and I, of hacks, just hacks.
And the wooden spoon story, want to find out about that next week.
Yeah. And hopefully you take some videos showing us how you've been able to put all of this help to use. We'd like to see that on our Facebook page. Cecilia, thank you so much for joining us
It's been such a great pleasure. It's the best birthday present that I could receive, being here, and I didn't even realize it's in my birthday week that this is happening. It's just this morning. I said to the grandkids, but it's my birthday on Thursday. And this is going to be my biggest birthday present.
We're so happy we could do that for you.
I want to hug you with my elbow.
I'm in here as well.
Presenters and my favorite chef.
Thank you so much. We love you. I love you so much.
Thank you
so
much.
For this.
And to granddaughter Jordan, I don't know if she's still there. She's probably still eating a cake. Bye, Jordan. Thank you for joining us.
Wave. Jordan's sprinting there. Well, listen, that's unfortunately all of the time that we have for you this morning on our culinary hotline bling. Zing! Next week we do it again. 021-110-552. We're going to be answering more of your question. And of course, we want to make sure that you get those through. Start thinking about those challenges. In fact, spend the next 7 days picking out all those challenges as they happen and noting them, and then give us a call about them. We'll see you then.
Here's to you, Mzansi. Get 50% off the attorney bond registration fee plus 5,000 Rand cashback on your approved home loan. Dial *120 *001 *123# to find out how much you qualify for.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Denzel takes his girlfriend out to propose to her.
Smooth.
He opens the box to give her the diamond ring and drops it.
Not smooth.
Still on his knees, he hears her saying,
Yes, Denzel.
I do.
Nothing smoother.
Made with love by Clover.
There is nothing smoother than a Tropica and catching a bit of shade under a tree or in the studio without getting roasted by those last low few rays of sunshine. Now, speaking of a roasting with a side of shade, today we roast our Zoe. We put on the spit and we roast her. We reflect on her. Well, it's up to you to decide whether it's a smooth or not so smooth moment. Reading our news headlines about a particular sheep who received a new fleece of life. Let's take a look at this.
A sheep in Australia left to run wild for years in Bushveld in Victoria on his own. I'm sorry, Graham and Wasty. Okay, let me tell you about the sheep. Grew a massive 34-kilogram coat of wool before being rescued by an animal sanctuary. The heavy wool which weighed Barak, as he was nicknamed down and obscured his vision, took an hour to remove. He can now see clearly again for the first time and in years, and is presently be adjusting to his new life at Edgar's Mission in Lounsfield. He has indeed been brought back to life. Now, staff couldn't believe there was actually a sheep alive under all the wool after some 5 years of growth. Many people don't realize that wool can easily morph into a fleece that continues to grow throughout the life of a sheep. Now relieved of 34 plus kilograms of burden, Barak is indeed lighter in more ways than one. And the Mission tweeted this tweet, and I quote, "No longer shall the struggle for food and shelter, no longer will he be the mercy of predatory or elements, and no longer will he be forgotten." Well, I will be back with more news at 8. Not my proudest, smoothest moment.
I think that was like... No, I'm so sorry, because in that particular moment, you could hear the cackling going on. Carl Wasty and myself were standing like right next to the camera, and it was very, very,
oh
very
gosh,
funny.
I just couldn't get over a sheep named Barak.
And you struggled to get back. I remember taking a behind-the-scenes video of that, and every time I was looking at G and Colin, I was like, stop doing that, just trying to focus and get it, and then you just went back.
And the whole time, and then you break and you go, let me tell you about this.
Yeah, I thought you had it, man. I thought you were back on track and you were there, and no.
I wish you could have known what was going on in my earpiece. I had my director and my producer say to me, "Zoe, breathe, you can do this." They were talking me through that
Probably makes you laugh even more, right? That thing.
Was it the name? It was actually the fact that...
It was just that whole setup of Barak
and
that
he
just
did
threw
look.
me.
He did look a little.
Then he said, I will be.
That was the only way I could save it.
That was lovely. It was funny then. It was funny now. I think that was actually a smooth moment for me.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, and I'll drink to that. And the viewers absolutely loved it. They adored it. And it's always difficult, though, when you're in the news and you've got to kind of deal with these sorts of funny stories. But the sheep certainly has a new fleece of life, and Zoe's ability to finish the news without completely rolling on the floor with laughter. I think that deserves a massive round of applause. One of our viewers, Charles, in fact, weighed in. He loved it, and this is what he had to say. He said, "Zoe Brown, you're very funny, laughing when you mentioned about the sheep. You could not stop. You made me laugh as well. So much fun." So
Thank you.
we weren't laughing at you. We were laughing at
you. Yeah, you were laughing at me at my expense, but it's fine.
No,
you
we were
can do
laughing
that.
at you.
It's fine. As long as it brought a smile to your face, my job is done.
And then you want to say that you'll be back again tomorrow, maybe?
I'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
6
Yes,
o'clock.
that's the
6
time.
We will, bright and early. So maybe you found yourself in a not-so-smooth situation, that you were found laughing uncontrollably in a serious situation. Let us know on our social media pages. We'd love to hear from you.
Denzel takes his girlfriend out to propose to her.
Smooth.
He opens the box to give her the diamond ring and drops it.
Not smooth.
Still on his knees, he hears her saying,
Yes, Denzel.
I do.
Nothing smoother.
Made with love by Clover.
All right, time for us to see what's happening on social media when you guys have weighed in on the question that we asked you. So let's see what those comments are that you put through. The question was...
we wanted to know from parents how's the little ones in their lives handled the COVID pandemic.
And it's tough on young ones. Here's a comment from Nkosi Pri saying it was really hard, but my wife, we tried to make them understand. If you want to go outside, you have to stay inside.
Yes.
Good.
Aww.
Hashtag Expresso Show. And then one from Rukaya saying, good morning. It was difficult at first, especially for my 3-year-old, especially adapting to a mask and sanitizing all the time and not being able to go out. But I think my kids adapted very well, much better than I expected, and I'm proud of them because they comply over 90% of the time. They remember the basics of wearing a mask, sanitizing.
You know, we covered this with Talia as well. Children are unbelievably resilient. I think that's become my key word for this phase of thing. You know, forget the new normal, forget all of that. We're powerful, we're resilient, and our children can do it. They're amazing at how they can be joyful amidst all of this craziness, and that's been a big inspiration for me.
They learn, and we've got to set a good example. When they see us do stuff, then they obviously, you know, sort of mimic that, and they mimic that.
You've almost finished your entire...
And you haven't touched yours. How do you feel?
I'm
not waiting for the end of the show.
We have another comment that came through from Belinda Francis saying, good morning, beautiful family. At first it was difficult, but a 6-year-old understands. She watched a documentary about the virus and understood the importance of staying at home. Very smart little girl, always sanitized. We baked, we played, and we read books. It was difficult, but we got through it.
It's so cute how kids just take to it. And I mean, my brother took my little cousin to the stores and she knew we had to sanitize before we walked in, and it was very cute.
The mask thing freaked me out because it freaked me out to wear it. So I was thinking, like, how am I going to put that on? Do you need a train now? So what's telling you need a train? Yeah.
Talking to me.
It's telling you you've been sitting down for too long. But I also love that with my boy getting into baking and doing things in the kitchen. And I've become now, as a result, really nuclear. I love having my family around me and keeping them close. Almost kind of, I'm obsessed with my little family units, and I think a lot of people have gone through that. But as we've touched on today and said many times through this journey, it's okay not to be okay. So if you're stressed, if your kids are stressed, it's a perfectly natural reaction to what we've been through. Talk about it and do something to get some dopamine flowing in that brain, and maybe the Zip Zap Circus is the way to do it. At 9:30 this morning, they're going to be in Cape Town City Central doing what they do best, and that's making people feel amazed.
How's that tune?
Where's my balls? But they've been amazing on the show this morning. In fact, it's been a wonderful show. So thank you so much to my beautiful colleagues. Thank you to you guys at home. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
We love you.
We love you.
Bye.
Okay. Here's to one last slice of summer and our first taste of autumn. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.